Oh my god. So we have to use these lines. All right. So first off, hey folks, Jason, this is the Heroes Die, folks. We'll do an intro later, but right now we're in kind of like warm up time, effectively, and yeah, we're playing a little improv game. So I'll let you get back to the explanation, Josh.
Sure. So for this game, we're going to be in our D&D characters. Jason, you can be, I think you'll be free to say whatever you would like. First of all, Jason, you are the one that starts out freed. Everyone else has 2 lines that their characters can say, and they have to use each line twice before they're allowed to free their speech and say whatever they'd like. So the objective of this exercise is setting your friends up, so shifting the spotlight, as well as remembering what resources are out there. So in the beginning, you're trying to remember what are my resources, i.e. my 2 lines. And then once you've freed your speech, it's what is everybody else's lines and how can I work those into a scene and set somebody else up to use their resources. So I guess we can just go in order and everyone can say their 2 lines so everybody knows what everybody else's lines are. And remember that these are the words you can say, but you can use any inflection you'd like. You can turn it into a question. You can sort of trail off at the end so it implies that there was something else you were going to say. You have to use these words, but you can say them or present them however you'd like.
And we can't say anything else, correct?
And that's all you can say. I guess at least for these purposes, you can do some like minor narration. Like Zagrin grabs the flask or something like that because we're not in person. And so to make the scene work, you can narrate, but don't narrate conversation. So like don't nod your head as a way to say yes, sort of thing.
Got it.
Alrighty, and I'll just go first. So Zagrin's 2 lines are, let me talk to them, and the dynasty does it differently.
My 2, Essie's 2 is talk about a happy ending and run like the Dickens.
Solis is follow the light, and I can make them disappear.
Kids are a whole group is a murder. And why did you give me murder as a
Murder.
to say with a Scottish accent?
That's good. That sounds good.
And I'll go ahead and look.
All right, and Jason, you are going to be Calamity and any NPCs, and as the dungeon master trying to set up their players, you're the one who's freed to begin with. So we're going to be relying on you to try to set us up in the beginning, to try to use our phrases, and then we can try to also set each other up. And
is this, one quick question, is this a free-for-all, or do we go in order, or?
Free-for-all. So
right.
the look for opportunities to use your resource and interject to try to get as free as quick as possible is sort of the objective. And for the scene, we'll say last time we did a tavern. This time, the party has just slain a dragon. We just killed a dragon and successfully, and we're all happy and celebrating. And Jason, you can start as Calamity whenever you're ready.
You know, great job, everyone. I thought I'd never get out of there.
Good thing we run like the Dickens.
Yeah, that, absolutely no doubt. Tell you when he let out all that fire, I thought we were cooked. Nothing. Okay. Hey, what's that over there?
I'll go ahead and look.
Oh, good. Yeah. Excellent.
Follow the light.
This is really hard, by the way. Zagrin, I heard that when you had a dead dragon, you were supposed to take its scales and make something with it.
The Dynasty does it differently.
Oh, really? And what is it? What is it exactly that you can do with these things?
I can make them disappear.
We can also make them run like the Dickens.
Talk about a happy ending is a hard one to set up.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that one.
I do have ideas.
All right. I think we should get out of here before the guards show up. I don't want to.
Let me talk to them. Let me talk to them.
I don't want them to talk about happy ending.
True. Yeah, that would be deeply off-putting.
I can make them disappear.
I think you're good on your lines now, Mike.
I got to use them twice, don't I?
Oh, you have to use them each twice?
Yeah, you try to use each line twice.
Now I'm good on them.
Okay.
Saccharin will walk up to the dragon corpse and starts looking at its teeth and just, the Dynasty does it differently. Kind of puts his head in.
It looks like he died smiling.
Talk about a happy ending.
Yeah.
Let's see. Holgrove is a murder. Boy, this is hard. Slayus, do you ever pray when you like kill something to you have that saying, right? Like that they need to
Follow the light, yes.
Yeah. That's interesting.
The Dynasty does it differently.
I don't know, Essie. What are you gonna tell your parents after this?
Let me talk to them.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that'll go really well.
Where's Kit, by the way? Has anyone
I think
seen
she
her?
went ahead. I think she went ahead and took a look.
I guess Kit will come back and
I'm thinking, right, that we've been seeing so many crows lately. And I was just wondering, it seems so weird to just keep calling them crows. Is there like what's a group
Is
of
it like
them
a
called?
gaggle?
I'll go ahead and look. The whole group is a murder.
A murder. Could you? I didn't hear that real well. Sorry, my head was in the what were they called?
A whole group is a murder.
Oh, I got it now. Thanks, appreciate it.
Jesus, Josh, that was a brutal game.
Yeah, that's hard.
Super.
It puts a lot
super
on
hard.
whoever goes first,
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, and the worst part is before you set the scene, I thought it was just going to be like something random, and I was like getting ready to be like, "Oh, I've got a whole tray of pastries," and I was hoping Mike would do the
I can make them disappear.
like the Batman voice, you know. Folks, if you're just joining us, we're the Heroes Die Show crew, and we're just warming up before our session starts in 1 minute.
And that's how
hang
we
out.
play D&D.
Yeah, that's right. We've been very lucky that today Josh is giving us some improv games to play, which are both fun and unpleasant.
They always make me think.
It stretches the brain. It's an
That's it.
exercise.
That's it.
We're getting better. We're learning. It's fun. It makes me think of Whose Line Is It Anyway? Because I think they had a similar thing that they could only say like one or two
Yeah,
phrases?
that's definitely it's a improv game that they feature a lot. Most of the time it's not like trying to free yourself. It's just for the scene, those two people have two lines that they can say, and then one person's free to talk, and they just do a scene. But then to make it more about like resource management and remembering things and shifting the spotlight, I added in the 2-line or have to use it twice rule, and then free to try to free somebody else.
Great game to play with your D&D
Or have to
group,
use it twice
y'all.
rule.
Very fun.
Tricky.
It's tricky.
Tricky.
Y'all, check out my nails. I showed Taya yesterday,
Oh my
but
god.
They're
I got
gorgeous.
X-Files themed
Nice.
nails. And
Oh, that's
I love
great.
them. Like the little alien spaceship, and
Yes.
I want to believe.
Did you get them done like in a place, or are they something that you put on?
I was muted the whole time. I was showing you my nails.
I heard it.
You heard it?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. I got them at a my local like nail place. There's an artist there who's amazing. She hand did
That's
all
insane.
of that.
Nice.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
My husband said I should get firefly nails next time.
Mm.
Yes, please.
Don't bother. Don't bother.
I was like, okay.
Thinking about it.
Not worth it.
I like it more.
Folks, I think with that, it's 2:00 or it's 1:00 Central Time because that's the time that we talk about. Y'all want to get started?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. All right. With that, let's begin. Hey, folks, I'm Jason. I'm the Game Master for Heroes Die Show, and thank you for joining us for episode 29 of Heroes Die Show. Let's kick off. Oh, all right, cool. Let's kick off. So you're watching episode 29. We're the folks from Heroes Die Show. I'm Jason, and this is our cast. So I'm going to start with introductions on my left with Paula.
Hello, I'm Paula, and I play Kit in the Best Left Buried series, and I'm here to tell you about our social media. You can find us on all the platforms. Our handle is @HeroesDieShow, and we're on TikTok with some funny little clips when we do interesting and silly things. Also, DM tips and various other little short videos. I think Twitter is where you'll find the majority of like our scheduling and updates and announcements and stuff like that. And you can also find updates.
Yeah, on Discord. You should definitely come join our Discord because not only can you talk to us, we love that. We love interacting with anyone who watches the show, absolutely. But also to piggyback on the DM tips, there's a channel there for DM tips, essentially, where if you want to swing by with monsters or enemies that you've been thinking or plot lines that you're thinking of developing in your game, and you just want to get a little help to make sure that those are very fun for your players, that's a great place to drop it, talk to, especially Jason, but all of us have a little bit of DMing experience, and we love to chime in and see what you're doing with your games, get creative. We just absolutely love that. There's also a Between the Scenes channel where things that don't necessarily make it onto the show, but they're important to keep up to date with, those happen there as well. So make sure that you join our Discord to stay up to date. And what's other things that we've got going on?
Once you've gotten some great DM tips from our Discord and you're like, wow, these people have such creative ideas. I wish I could have something I can put in my game directly made by them. I'm ready to grant that wish. Yes, me, Joshua Tarr, who plays Zagrin Beltoon, is here to grant that wish because I remember to introduce myself. And you can find that on our Patreon. That's patreon.com/, you guessed it, @Heroes Die Show. And type that in anywhere, @Heroes Die Show. We're probably there. But if you're interested in the stuff we make, you can check it out on our Patreon. And maybe you like our ideas so much, you're like, how can I show other people? Well, there's a discount code for physical merch, but where would I put that?
Well, I got the answer for you, Josh. You get those discounts and you get your ass over to Big Cartel, and then you log on and you purchase some of our wonderful, fantastic gear and merchandise. And you can acquire things like, oh, I'll show the clean side because I have attuned to it today. This Heroes Die mug. And we have other fancy things too, like sweaters and caps, t-shirts, and what have you. Head on down to Big Cartel and show the world who you love.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Mike. So we're about to step away for a second, but wanted to say some thank yous before we get started. So thank you, Cast, for being on the show and making it really fun to do. Thank you, folks, for watching. Like, we like making the show, and it's really fun to actually have people watch as we do it. So thanks for being here. I want to say thank you to the folks over at Tabletop Audio. We use the heck out of their audio tracks. Like, I use it at all my home games now. Check it out. It's a really, really nice tool. And I think there's more, but I'm going to forget it. So we'll see you in just a minute when we get back from this intro.
Ah, old friend, you're here again. So glad you could stop by. Come, sit a while and let's begin the tale of heroes die. In distant lands are stories made with villains most despised. A tale of magic, strength, and blade, of camaraderie and lies. It's one I know quite well, you see. Perhaps you'll find out why. The legends and the histories remember. Heroes die.
All right, Bulk Logan it is. Hey, folks. Hello, welcome back. So today we're starting episode 29, right? So just to recap, and folks, keep me honest and remind me of anything I missed. Last time, y'all finished your confrontation with Morgana and the Dusk Song sisters. Finished it fairly decisively by killing the last of the Dusk Song sisters, freeing this grove, this fey grove, and this strange tree, looting their hideout, finding all sorts of interesting things, including a little obsidian horse statue, a little metal orb covered in runes, a journal, or a little book anyway, and a bunch of like cultist gear from marked with the holy symbols of Loath. Anything I missed there?
Cultist treasure as well.
Treasure, yep, absolutely.
Which I believe the plan was to melt it down or bring it to
tainted.
the thieves. Yeah, bring it to the thieves and be like, here you go, guys. We're going to melt it down. Actually, why would we bring it to the thieves to melt it down?
Well, they might just buy it from us.
Did we also find a strange brass key in the elder tree or
you
hag?
did.
Yes.
Yeah, so we got a bunch of interesting stuff.
And are we going to go back and harvest animal parts, or are we going to go like we already did that?
But yeah, so let's figure out where we left off, right? When we last left our heroes, y'all had just kind of rescued the last of the soldiers from fighting the gnolls. So you'd kind of gone through the woods, you tracked down this group of soldiers who looked like they were retreating from after their attack on the gnoll camp, although retreating under quite heavy and sustained attack from the gnolls. And due to some really cool skills challenge effects, y'all were able to sneak up on the gnolls and fireball them, finally letting Calamity unleash her inner pyro in a positive way. And so we join you all. You have rescued these soldiers, and that's where we'll begin this time. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Is Sergeant Calver, he's among the living?
Sergeant Culver is among the living. Yeah.
Good job.
All right.
So you find there's 12 soldiers left, right? 12 soldiers left that you can see. 4 are wounded. One of them badly wounded, and looks like they're not doing well at all. Sergeant Culver has been wounded, but is still walking. Still ambulatory, I think is the term.
I think Celeste is going to put his mask back on, the ceramic mask, and kind of present himself as like, I'm here to help kind of deal.
Yeah.
Are any of them the ones that I saved from the beast?
Yeah. Yep. One of them is that like more seasoned guy that was fighting the beast. He's there among that crew.
Okay.
He definitely gives you a look or two when he sees it come out of the darkness.
Yeah. Well, now he knows. I'm here to help. I give him a look and walk toward the more injured of the soldiers and give him my last health potion there.
Yeah, so one of them is coughing up a fair bit of blood. Looks like they have a punctured lung. But with your healing potion, they stabilize, and they may well make it.
Is he still looking on death's door though? Like,
It's not
so
great, but he's much better now than he was before. Although he's still being carried.
And I do take my mask off so everyone can see my face now. I just want them to get used to me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Can I dig into my bag, and I'm gonna grab out this little, almost looks like a straw with a needle on the end, and I'm going to do like a needle aspiration to like chest tube insertion, and I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds as I do that to give him. Ooh, that's actually really good. 11 points of magical healing. I'm like, don't worry, I got this.
Nice. Okay.
Just things
Absolutely.
it's gonna start to drain if there's like fluid in there, and this is just kind of field work, but it'll help. Trust me, I'm a doctor for sure.
Yeah. No, they're very grateful. Sergeant Culver looks at you all and goes, "Yeah, thanks. It was kind of tense. Good y'all were able to hit him from behind there."
Good you were able to survive. We got here as soon as we could.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you for all your assistance. You really helped. You helped hold the line back here so we could do our job.
we gave him hell. But it's all the same. I want to get my people out of the woods as quickly as I can.
It should be a little safer now. Their leader is dead. The Dusk Sun sisters have met their end.
Good to hear.
We are going to go back, I believe. There are some things we need.
Unfinished business that we need to do back there, but we just wanted to make sure that you were safe before we started doing any of that busy work.
It means a lot. I owe you one. See you back at town.
Be safe on the way.
All right.
Go
and with
on,
that,
get out of here.
Sergeant Culper and the soldiers move out, still carrying the injured man, but everybody else walking.
I'm actually so happy that we saved Sergeant Culver. Like, I don't know why, but I'm very happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
Good. All right, folks. So you've got some time here, right? I know. Taya, you were considering having Essie go back and harvest some monster parts, which is something you can do. We can kind of go into downtime mode for a little bit, right? So let's play this a little bit loose, right? So what are the things we want to accomplish in the next few hours?
I know Manticore has some very good venom.
Yes.
It's even in the book, Manticore venom, which would be great to
absolutely
temper a weapon with.
Any of the parts. I'm probably going to do, like, spend an hour doing right tool for the job, and I'll do I don't know if you wanted to do like a harvester's kit, Jason, or if you
Sure.
had something else,
Yeah.
but I'm going to like make something of what I have to be able to do that. And then I'm going to just spend probably the majority of my time harvesting, especially from the chimera parts, but
Okay.
I'm not above looking the hags over.
Okay, great. So for those that are watching, we're using the monster harvesting rules that you can find in Arcadia issue 8. So hey, go ahead and have Essie like roll that on her own, right? And like you can use the tables there in that article on it. Do you have any questions?
Quick question, if that's
Yeah,
maybe for
please.
the DM. So at level 6, I got the, let me go back to it, a class feature that is called, if I can, it is right, or tool expertise at 6th level. My proficiency bonus is doubled for any ability check that uses your proficiency with a tool. So is this a tool that I would be proficient in because I created it with the right tool for the right job?
I
can
don't know how
double
that
that?
ability works, but if it says it, sure. You know, if
Okay.
it says you automatically gain proficiency, then you do, right?
Yes. All right. So I'm going to have Essie's Elswith Pet Guarantee of Excellence.
So while Essie's harvesting, so y'all will be able to do some harvesting and get back to town in time for it to be like early morning, right? So if you want to take a long rest and do stuff, or if you want to do stuff between kind of, that like sun's starting to come up to, it's brunch time, let me know. Otherwise, you can use that time for a long rest.
I rolled a 19.
Okay, great.
Good thing I had all those crazy bonuses. So I didn't roll super well, but I'm real good at this.
I think like when they're, I guess if it's still kind of like dark-ish or dawn-ish, Kit would want to sneak off if possible and go back to the place where she met the was it maybe like, is he called a priest of
Yeah.
the Raven Queen, which I think that was like the cemetery or the graveyard.
Yeah, absolutely. So we can handle that. Zagrin or Slayus, anything you want to accomplish during this time?
While Essie is harvesting organs from the monsters, Zagrin wants to look around through any personal belongings that the hags might have had and just try to get a clue. Specifically, he's looking to see if he can get any clues on the Children of Malice figure, but really just rummaging through the hags' belongings.
Yeah, with that, Kid, is there anything you wanna share with Zagrin before you head off?
Sure. I mean, I picked all the stuff up, but I'm not hiding it, so I can just hand it all over, basically. I do want to keep the key. I mean, I'll show him the key, but like, I'm just kind of interested in that piece.
Yeah, so I'll take that and look at it, see if it looks like anything that the hags have, and just kind of look through that stuff.
Yeah. So among the things that you found here, there was this obsidian horse figure, right? And Essie, is it fair to say you're going to take the time to identify these things? I can
Absolutely.
share with you what they are.
I mean, she definitely would have like taken off her jacket. She's probably like blood is dripping down as she's harvesting. She's like, just put them off to the side. I'll get to them in a second.
So the obsidian horse figure is now I've already forgotten what that thing is. It is a figurine of wondrous power, and it is the obsidian steed. So you can go ahead and read what that is, but it essentially gives you the ability to summon a nightmare for up to 24 hours. However, there are some stipulations there, so I would read the whole thing as you're going through it. On top of that, you also found this small little orb, and that is a very interesting little magical eyeball. told you this was all about the eyeballs. It's a magical little eyeball, which, when attuned to, gives you some really, really neat abilities, including the ability to cast True Seeing once per long rest, detect magic at will, and detect evil and good at will. Yes, another eyeball. Now, however, this item you attune to it by surgically replacing one of your eyes. So this is not a thing you unattune to. It is a new look for whoever goes down this road. And anytime you use one of its abilities, you lose 1 hit point and begin bleeding out of that eye.
I like
And
it.
it's called Other Sight.
It's such a risk.
It sounded cool until that part, and
No risk,
I
no
really like
reward.
my eyes.
I already have something I can't unattune to, so having 2 things that I can't unattune to.
Yeah. What's the worst that could happen, right?
I do love it though. It sounds
I know.
sounds
It
great.
sounds up Solaeus' alley for sure.
I would love it, but I don't want to do the surgery on myself.
I'll do it on you.
Oh God.
Don't you? I got stuff in here. Listen, we just saved that man's life by sticking a needle up into his chest cavity, so I can do it. I say it's like blood still dripping down my hands.
Covered in
feel like-
manticore venom.
She would enjoy it too much, maybe.
I mean, I need experience in that sort of stuff. What if I ever want to become a doctor one day?
You know, start by cutting on live people. Like, what's the worst that could happen, right? It's
Well-
perfect.
I went to watch a surgery performed by the Gray family when I was, in Zadash. They have a long standing of, being real good at anatomy and stuff like that. But I just thought that maybe one day I could go down that path if I didn't have any other options available to me. So if you
Negative
wanted to give it a go,
They wrote that book, right? It's a big tome.
there's probably a lot of surgical things in there I could do to you. Just kidding. Before I touch the tome, I'll actually wash off my arms and reverently touch it, figure out what's going on with the tome.
I'll think about it.
Anytime. The offer's on the table for whenever you want to, Solaeus.
Right. What's it called again?
Other Sight, and you should be able to find it in D&D Beyond if you're in the
Okay.
campaign.
I really like it.
It's cool. All right. On top of that, Zagrin, the book. So one, you've got a bunch of treasure, and Solaeus, I did make note that you were making some sketches and detailing this stuff for your report back to the lens about what y'all found here. But
Yeah.
among other things, Zagrin, you find, or Kit gives you, a journal that belonged to Morgana. And there is a lot of stuff in there. There's a lot of stuff in there. So as you begin reading, you can see that this is a journal that Morgana was using to detail what's been going on, right? And the part that stands out immediately as you're reading is that this demon had come to see the witches, the Dust Song Sisters, and had made a deal, right? You would be they would help Vixara, this demon, kidnap you and grab you, and in return, Loth herself would aid the witches. And they'd give them a bunch of treasure, but in addition to that, Loth would aid the witches in locating a particular demon that they've been looking for, right?
This went all the way up to the top. Loth
Do you think
herself
that-
was involved.
Do you think that demon has a heart to spare? I'm looking for a demon heart.
I think that if we encounter that demon again, that extracting the heart sounds just.
So, wait a second. It was looking for Seleus or it was looking for Zagrin?
Me, unfortunately.
Yeah. Do you recognize any of those names, Zagrin?
No, the Dustsong sisters are entirely new to me, and while I was heard of handmaidens before, such as the one named here, it's not something I personally encountered or had much experience with.
You get
Those
the
are-
impression from reading it that Morgana thought that you were quite the bargaining chip, right? And she was under the impression that having you would give them a lot of juice when it came to negotiating with Loth and the Children of Malice, right? That somehow you were specifically important to their plans.
Well, at least what they wrote was most flattering of me. Can at least appreciate their recognition of what value I bring to this world.
And
Lord,
go ahead, Seleus.
Lord Zagrin, this is no joking matter. If Loth is involved, it will not end with these witches.
No, and while I'm sure I'm not anybody's favorite amongst the Children of Malice, the particular attention to me is concerning, if I'm being honest. I mean, I assumed that they were after me because of my status within the dynasty, but this seems a little more personal.
Is there anything, Zagrin, that you've been doing that would make demons be hunting you specifically? Or is this about this mission that you are on in the name of the light or whatever?
Well, Zorhas is no stranger to demons as enemies. It's not something I would take that they would name me specifically. So it is not something I can necessarily name their motive here. I imagine they would absolutely want to stop me from doing whatever it is I am destined to do, but it's not that this is some known prophecy that they would know that I was on a holy mission. Most folks, even back in the dynasty, assumed I was just part of the embassy trying to stop the war.
So who in the Empire, listen, I don't mean to be that person, right? But who specifically knows that you have something other than just being an ambassador? And would they be someone you trusted, or could they be somebody that would sell you out?
It's not that I used the Dalen alias for most interactions. I did give my real name to the Forger back in Eurosa, but I don't know if...
I'm not talking about people here in the Empire, Zagrin. I'm talking about people that you would trust back in the Dynasty. Because this doesn't seem like a Forger in Eurosa kind of deal. This seems like
I agree. And no, there's no particular enemies. I mean, I was a politician. I certainly had my share of dissenters, but none that I believe would want me personally dead or would gain much from that. If anything, it would be better to call me treasonous for indicating I was trying to go on official business when I was going on personal business, that if my secret was outed amongst those types of enemies, the blackmail or embarrassment would be worth more than my head.
there is no one that you can think of that would be gunning for your head specifically?
None coming to mind directly, but I will certainly think on it.
I'm going to actually look at Seleus. Can you think of anybody?
I can't. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't frustrated that our enemies know more about our mission than we do.
And although I would praise the intelligence agency that we have in the lens, we've already seen at least one defector. Who knows what else other information might be spreading through means that we're not aware of. Certainly we have spies embedded within the Children of Malice who bring us intelligence, and it wouldn't surprise me if they had the same arrangement going on with inside the dynasty itself. But if I knew their identity, certainly they wouldn't hold the position. So I don't know who might be spreading these tales about me.
Is there any way that we could lay a trap? And I mean, I know we're a considerable distance from the dynasty, but is there any way we could lay a trap and try to figure out who it might be?
Well, to lay a trap, I suppose you need bait, and certainly I'm no stranger to playing bait. Perhaps I flaunt my face a little bit more and see if I can lure out whoever might be lurking behind in the shadows.
If it makes you feel any better, you're doing a very good job at being bait.
I appreciate the compliment.
All right. With that, there's more in this journal, Zagran, but it's going to take you time to get through all of it. She didn't have the neatest handwriting and isn't necessarily the clearest communicator.
That just means she's a genius deep down. I think that's what that means.
You also got a lot of impression that Morgantha didn't like a lot of other folks. Morgantha or Morgana? Doesn't really matter now. She's dead. But she wasn't necessarily super psyched about anyone else that she worked with. Right? Had a lot of bad things to say about her sisters. A lot of bad things to say about the Vixara, the demon, and had a lot of bad things to say about this demon that she was hunting, but not a lot of clarity on why.
I'll add it to Leia's journal as just my light reading before bed. Is just dead people's journals.
And there's the demon that they're hunting isn't named. It's just a demon that they made a Vexara that they made a deal with.
Yeah, right. Or at least it's not named in that section, right? It was only the demon or him, as they're talking about it in the entry.
I feel the goddess of light is trying to tell us something, if not even by her absence.
Liramnor has seemed more urgent lately, and while I assumed that it was anticipation that we would soon be off this continent and closer towards our goal, I do have to wonder if my spiritual weapon was able to identify something that I was unaware of. Perhaps could sense the demons nearby.
Yeah, you can tell that Soleus is getting pretty agitated at the entire thing. Like, it doesn't like that other people know more than they do. And so he's gonna stay close. He's gonna stay close to Zagran for the rest of the time. And just be like, I don't like it. Just stay relatively quiet.
What I don't understand is how could you not like someone named Beeftress? I mean, what a name. Really? She really didn't even like her sisters? That's a pretty miserable existence when you don't even like the people you're closest to.
Very actively didn't like her sisters. Yeah. Was strongly considering murdering one of them and replacing him.
Well, especially because she knew that we were coming, I guess, and just left. It's like, see, I'll be in the cave.
That's fair. I hadn't even thought of that. She's like, whatever happens, happens, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go do some surgery, and you guys deal with that.
I mean, I can respect that. You know, your work has got to take first place in your life if you want to get anywhere. You know, so.
Also, on a side note, I rolled to recharge my staff, because it's dawn, right?
It will be, yeah, for sure.
I rolled a 5.
Just before we move on to the next bit, was there anything else Essie was going to harvest from these monsters, or have you got squared away at this point?
Really, everything that I can with the Chimera, specifically, you know, if they have like poison sacs specifically,
Yeah, sure.
But the heart, eyes seem to be a recurring theme. So eyes, heart, if at all possible. I'm going to do claws. I'm going to try to get vials of blood. Literally anything that seems magical in nature, I'm going to attempt to slice off. And then, God, should I try anything with these hags? Does that seem like a little bit
None of them
too
have
much?
any eyes
Harvest.
left, unfortunately for
Okay.
them.
Harvest the hags. Oh my god.
They're eyeless.
Listen, we're not even going to put them in the human category anymore. Like, they're pretty demonic, right? But no, I'll just keep it to the manticore then, or the whatever it was. Yeah.
All right, Okay. So with that, then we're gonna advance y'all back to town. Sound good? All right. Is there something?
I was just gonna say, like, is there any, like, on the Druid Grove and tree, is there any writing or anything that I could, like, take rubbings of or anything like
no,
that?
absolutely
All right.
not. So there's lots of things, the treasures that the children of Malice brought for the hags, right? Like there was lots of stuff with symbols and things on there, right? For sure, but they all were very heavily related to the worship of Loth. The place here has lots of very interesting things and lots of interesting things to take sketches of, right? Especially that underground kind of heart of the grove area, right? But it doesn't look like anything there uses written language.
Perfect. All right, that's it. I'll just say goodbye to the dryads then.
Yeah.
Call it a day.
Again, like you all are welcome in the grove anytime. Like they're clear that they need some time to heal, but that grove is a place that will always have sanctuary for you as long as the grove itself is safe. Yeah, and you're given a little acorn, so you can each of you are given a little acorn, so you can find your way back anytime.
I'll give them a little bit of my family's honey in a little jar in return.
Nice. Yeah, great. Great. So we make our way back to town, right? And eventually you're able to go get set up. Get ready to do y'all's long rest. Before you do so, Kit, you're gonna break off and go to the cemetery and try and commune with the Raven Queen. Is that about right?
That's correct.
On your way back, multiple times you notice that raven following you, right? You notice that raven following you, and a few other times you have that headache as it seems to shift between figures. Right. Seeing the two images at once doesn't seem to be very good for your brain. But we're gonna join you in the cemetery. What's your approach? Like, how do you want to commune with the Raven Queen here? What are we trying to do?
So I will just find a spot that's kind of secluded. I don't want to be visible, and I'll just kind of sit down, like on my knees, like sitting back on my heels, and take out the symbol. Just kind of rub it with my thumb a little bit, and is the raven, is it a raven or a crow?
It's a raven.
It's a raven. Okay. Is the raven visible right now?
As you begin setting up, yeah, you see it perched not far from you.
I'll just look up. Look back at the symbol. All right. I'm ready to talk, I guess. Who are you?
Yeah, so you get set up where you start asking the crow questions, but it just looks at you. Just looks at you quiet, right? Turning its head different ways to observe you, and you can feel things getting colder and darker around you as you sit, right? You begin staring at the raven, and you notice that your surroundings now are slightly less clear. You're still very much in a graveyard, but looking beyond 10 feet in any direction, like, you just can't seem to focus on anything.
Okay, I'll close my eyes and just hold the symbol with both hands really tightly and just wait. Try to like open up my mind, just like listening and trying to feel I'm asking this question basically like of the Raven Queen, like, are you here?
Yeah, as you do that, right, like that cold deepens and chills like right through to your bones. But it doesn't hurt and you're not shivering, right? Like instead you just feel almost like a broad numbness come over you. And at first you hear the wind pick up around you, and then listening and paying attention, you hear what sounds like a chorus of voices on the wind, echoing, like they kind of repeat over and over again, and you hear your name. And she comes.
I'll open my eyes and look around and
You open
I
your
see
eyes
anything?
and you find yourself in a graveyard still, but a much larger graveyard. The sky above now, a deep overcast gray, and you see that place where the Raven was. You see that figure, the man you saw before, still wearing that key and that strange armor. And they look at you. But as you observe them, they look like their skin is gray. Their skin is gray, like they're an actual corpse. Now, on observing, you don't see them breathing or moving in any way.
wait. Okay. So there's this man. His eyes are open, like he's sitting. Is he
Eyes
sitting
are
like?
open. So he's sitting perched so the Raven was up on a gravestone looking at you, and he's sitting perched up on the gravestone, right? But like where you can see his skin, it is that gray skin of a few-day-old corpse.
Okay, I'll slowly stand up and walk over to him.
Yeah. As you begin walking over, you hear that voice, that chorus of voices on the wind again. You hear that chorus of voices on the wind again, and it is careful. What brings you here? What brings you to this realm?
I want to know. I want to know the Raven Queen. Why she's following me. I need answers.
You look around again. That figure of the man is moved now, and is standing on the ground in front of the grave and closer to you. It is our servant who follows you. His boon and his reward brings him to you.
Why me? What do you want from me?
There's a there's another pause, right? And again, the figure, like between one blink and the next, like the figure shifts and is now even closer to you and looking, and you see in his eyes, right, is clearly dead eyes, a reflection of your own eyes. And the voice goes again, right? That series of voices. One servant lost, and one to replace it.
I'm the replacement.
You could be.
Okay.
Trying times come, and you see little images, right? Little echoed figures of folks you knew back at the Dash, right? Some of your little crows, some of them alive and some of them dead. Some folks that you knew, right, and are no longer with you. And the voice again goes, danger comes. Your people need protection. And we need a servant.
What do you want from me? If I say yes, does that mean that they won't die?
Yeah, the figure of the man, like looks at you, and you can see him visibly shift from that figure of a man back into the raven, although now significantly larger than before. At first, the size of a small dog, and then as you watch, it shifts until it's, the size of a horse, and then soon, like elephant sized, and your scales kind of gotten a bit wonky, and you're shrunk down, and nothing is certain. But danger comes. Your service could help, could hurt. But a servant is needed.
And what do I get? What do I get in exchange for my service?
A boon for you, and a boon for the one who served. A gift, a reward.
She'll just take a deep breath and square her shoulders a little bit. If it will help me protect those that I care about, then I'll do it.
Yeah. With that, you feel that cold pierce deeper down into you, right? But with it comes this strong sense of calm. That raven shifts now from a raven back into a form of that man, and still a giant. It reaches down and picks you up, holding you in its hand. You can feel its skin. Cold as the grave, and your skin feels no warmer up against it. But there is a strong familiarity to you about this as you accept, and you can feel, again, you feel that sense of peace. The wind picks up and howls and then stops, and you open your eyes again, and you are laying in that graveyard, and dawn is broken, and you have fallen asleep. But as you wake, you're being pecked at by a little raven.
I'll just sit up and look at the raven and hold my hand out to it.
Yeah, it comes to you. You feel a connection to the raven, right? You feel a connection to the raven. You feel like this raven will do what you want it to do, and you have but to will it, and it will act. You have a new raven familiar.
Yay!
Yeah, and he's got some neat stuff there, but
That's so exciting. Okay, I will just I'll just pet his little head. How big is
Yeah.
he? Like,
so he's like that big, like smaller than a crow, right? And as you do it, like he flies off, and as he does so, he bursts into smoke and disappears. So one of the things that your raven can do is it can become ethereal at will. And so it's able to just kind of burst into smoke as it needs to and disappear.
that is so cool.
That's really cool.
Okay. Yeah, is it morning still? Is it
Yeah, so now it's early morning, right? Each of you, by the time brunch-ish time rolls through, you will have been able to take a long rest, right? So y'all can meet back there, and then we've got a the ability to figure out what y'all want to do for the rest of the day. It is now the morning of the 19th, everybody. So there's a fancy party tonight. So we got to figure out how and what
We
you're
need
doing.
some clothes.
Yeah.
Like yesterday. We need fancy clothes. All right, we all got to, well, at least Sagrin and I got to look nice.
One additional bit for all of you, right? So we're gonna do this fancy party. We're gonna try something interesting. So you will have 3 opportunities during the party to call a flashback, something that you'd set up in advance of the party. Something you'd set up in advance of the party as part of either, protecting Major Cullen or infiltrating the party or, getting into the vault if y'all are still trying to steal the Cat's Eye Emerald. Yeah.
Which seems a little trivial at this point. I'm like, I don't want it.
we must collect all the eyes, okay?
I mean,
how it
yeah,
goes.
we're on an eye collecting mission. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, sorry. One more, Kit. Before you sign off, you get the strong impression, and the voice communicates that something is waking. An ancient evil is waking, and your people, whatever that is, are in danger. Right?
It's Taya.
In exchange for your service, right? You theoretically will protect your people.
Okay.
It's funny because I was thinking, like, I have now unlimited ravens to kill because she can just bring it back. So maybe I am the evil to the Raven Queen.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So I guess Kit will come back to the Rusty Cup, and when everybody meets down, I guess, in the breakfast area. Wait, no, we're not at the Rusty Cup anymore. That
Oh,
place
that's right.
burned
Yeah.
down. Oh my god.
We're in
Like
the
a
abandoned
ramp.
warehouse.
Exactly. Some
That's much less
ramshackle-
cozy. Where are the fish pies? Okay, so she'll come back
Guy
to
who
the
made the fish
abandoned.
pies had his
Well, we
last
can-
meal.
We can technically go back to the Rusty Cup if it isn't a crime scene.
Well, she'll come back to the abandoned warehouse, and I guess if once everyone's like reconvening, you can tell like there's something different about her. She seems just changed a bit.
Like you've seen a ghost.
Paler, probably. She was already like pretty white as a sheet, but
Kit, is your tweed a different color, or are you all right? You're looking a little peaked there.
no, I'm fine. So, are we getting ready for this party?
I imagine it to be quite difficult in this location. No running water, no bed.
You're not suggesting that we go to the Major's place, are you?
Oh, no. I was thinking returning to the Rusty Cup, but seeing as if the threat is gone and all.
I don't think that place is in any state of staying there, or you just want to look around.
I would like a bath.
I don't think you're going to find it at the Rusty Cup right now. That's all I'm saying.
You're right.
Might be a bit of a crime scene still. I doubt it's been cleaned up of all the corpses.
Wasn't there another inn in the town?
There were a couple, yeah.
Maybe we would not be social pariahs anymore now that the situation is taken care of.
And of course, y'all always had the opportunity to stay with the Major if you needed to.
Listen, I think if we're going to be going to the party anyway, why not, right?
We do have some information that I'm sure he would love to know.
As much as I hate the idea of staying there, it does make sense. Just for, like, one day.
I'm for it. I don't know if we probably have to let him know at the very least that everything's taken care of.
Maybe we could go talk to him and you could get your bath and we can decide from there.
We also do need to look nice at this party. Zagrin, you got anything nice to wear, or should we go shopping?
Zagrin like whips Lirimnor in the air a couple times, and each time he does, his clothes just change. How would you like me to present myself, I guess is the question.
Well, a suit is definitely necessary if you're in the Empire.
Yes, unfortunately, the ceremonial robes haven't crossed the border yet, although much more comfortable than this. And then he'll flick his wrist and just has a nice suit on.
That's
Big
looking nice.
ruffles, like the ascot and the ruffles in the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's formal.
Nice.
All right. I can probably wear that same dress, although
Wow, same dress twice?
it would be a little
Yikes.
embarrassing. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But I don't know if we have time now to get a second dress before tonight. But I would try. I would definitely go try to get a second
Rich people
nice
problems.
dress. Yeah, so true. And I just want to make sure, like, her footwear looks really nice, but it's something that she could probably run in.
Yeah, so flats,
That's
not
cool.
heels then.
Small heels.
Small
Like
heels,
thicker heels. Very stable, and something like a really, really nice, elegant dress. But also something that she could, like, gird up quickly if necessary. So, like, very light. You know, gird up your loins where you, like, put the dress
No,
up in between your legs.
I got the
and
reference, yeah.
Then you tie it.
Yep.
Yeah, she's done that a time or two, for sure.
Nice. Oh yeah, so no problem. You're gonna be able to things like that, folks, you're gonna be able to spend some time today like getting stuff like that. I'd say probably detract 150 gold because you're gonna rush it and get stuff like that done. But sure.
Sounds
Kit will
very
just call Essie over and say, when you're in town getting the dress, do you think you could, like, get an extra set of tweeds for me? Just like a dress tweed, a fancier.
There's no such thing as a dress made out of tweed.
No, not a dress. A dress tweed, like a nicer one.
I don't think such a thing exists either.
It certainly does. I know it for a fact.
All right. If I find something that looks nice, would you throw out the old tweed?
Throw it. No.
It's got more patches than tweed at this point.
You need a work set and you need a dress set.
How is it even comfortable to crawl around like you do in tweed? I don't even understand. Don't you want something that's a little bit more, like, easy to crawl around in?
Have you ever
What?
worn tweed? It's
Obviously
the most
not.
comfortable thing you could put on your skin.
I will never put tweed on my skin. Thank you very much.
It boggles the mind.
I'm all about that cotton life. It breathes, it's comfortable, holds up.
All right. Well, if you can be trusted, I would appreciate it.
I'll get you something nice. How about that?
Insight check. No. I'll just
You 100% know that would not include tweed.
I'll just narrow my eyes at her and
Fine. I'll get some tweed. If there's such a thing that exists, I don't think that any nice tweed exists. But if I do find something, I'll bring it back.
thank you.
You're welcome. Are
Oh,
you?
and a new cap as well.
A new camp as well. Out of tweed? Oh, do you really have to? Everything has to be tweed like that. Just you're not gonna give up anything. It's just tweed forever.
Hashtag tweet forever. Yes.
Listen.
Tweed all the
I
way
actually had to
down.
Google tweet. I didn't even know what it was.
And now your life is richer and better for it.
With that, are we planning to stay at the majors? And do y'all want to go? Do y'all want to go report in about the, the completion of your mission there?
Yes.
I think that would be wise, yeah.
Okay. Great. Great. Yeah. So you're able to see Major Cullen, right? You're able to see Major Cullen, and he's happy to take time with you. So first off, greet you all. Want to say thanks for what you did, getting most of my men back. We've got plans now to finish off what's left of those gnolls. So hopefully that won't continue to be a problem.
I'm assuming I would have cut off something of the hags to show proof of death.
You spent
As
lots
well.
of time chopping up their bodies. So
Yeah.
yeah, feel free. You've got
Yeah.
whatever tokens you want.
We also have a necklace of ears.
Do you need proof of death with the Dust Song Sisters?
I think I can take your word for it.
I just put my hand back down into the bag of holding. All right. Well,
I wanted
they're all-
to give you all something as a thank you for what you did. And
certainly not gonna turn down any generosity you got.
as one of his servants come out and bring a really nice looking breastplate. Really nice looking breastplate. It's fancy, and Essie, you can tell quickly this breastplate is made of adamantine. So it is a very ornate and it is a very well made piece of gear.
Wow, this is real nice. Thank you.
I got it as a gift and haven't found a use for it. I thought you all could use it. I'm grateful for what you've done here for this town. I wasn't even aware of what a threat we had brewing out in the woods.
We are happy that you trusted us enough to be able to deal with it and give us a chance to do so. Thank you for that trust.
Of course. And I trust you'll be joining me tonight, Miss Pike.
Of course.
Excellent.
I finally convinced him we shouldn't be in a shithole for the night.
Oh,
Yeah.
excellent. Been looking forward to having you stay.
Myself as well. What time does this party start?
We'll be arriving at the third bell after dark.
Third bell after dark. All right, we'll
So
be ready
join
by
me.
then.
We'll take my coach, and feel free. The servants at the manor can help you with whatever you need.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Well, all of you. The city owes you its thanks, and you have my thanks as well. Appreciate what you've done.
Are you in the habit of putting out titles such as like Heroes of Icehaven?
Well, you might need to talk to the mayor for that, but certainly what you've done qualifies you as Heroes of Icehaven in my book.
I think that was the goal all along. And I'll just like, I don't know, think about rooms for the night. I'm so happy to be sleeping in a bed tonight.
Is the party tonight or tomorrow night?
Right.
It's tonight. Okay.
True, will we even get to sleep in a bed tonight?
I don't know.
Maybe we should take a nap.
Maybe some of us will.
Ooh.
Are the other ones going to be sleeping with the fishies? Like, what is that implying?
I don't know.
Your night
Someone's
with the
got a
major.
I know.
Oh my. Well, I mean, that's fair. That is 100% fair.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
True that.
All right,
Yeah.
folks. Anything else y'all want to do?
Yeah, I think Soleus is going to approach Essie and ask if she could perform the surgery.
You've decided to do it then?
It's not with a easy heart that I accept this, but I feel like any bit of awareness I could achieve will help. Especially if we have a demon god on our trail.
Slaves, you know that there's no turning back from this, right? It's once it's there, it's there.
I am aware.
All right. Give me a little bit of time to set everything up.
I will. And he'll go out and meditate a little bit, stare off into the ocean, and kiss his eyes goodbye. And he's going to do one more like meditation and try and reach out to the Luxon and basically like ask for direction, inform her that he's doing this, and that's it.
So, could I spend an hour, and you can tell me what would maybe be a better option for this, Mr. DM. I'm thinking either like an herbalism like kit for tools if I'm gonna like switch my tools to do something more, or like alchemist supplies. Might be able to like numb the area to make it a little easier.
You've got your harvester's kit, which you've used to
Oh,
remove
that's-
more than
that's-
one eyeball so far.
That's the best. All right.
Best
Well,
I can think of.
I think that's actually still around since I did that earlier, and I think it stays until for like the day. All right. Well,
Can we look around town and maybe find like a surgical kit? Get you some tools.
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I totally have got this, Soleus.
No. What you're suggesting is simply barbaric. I cannot let it happen. And then I press the digitation to make the harvester tool clean. Now, proceed.
Oh, all right. Well, I mean, sounds good.
Thank you, my lord.
Don't worry. I'm real good at these types of things. Trust me. I've got the
So we're gonna do-
guarantee of excellence.
We're gonna do 2 rolls for this when we're ready to do it. So first off, Soleus, you do get a strong sense of peace from meditating and reaching out to your god. But like that's really it, right? Like you have that, you're centered and you're ready, right?
Right.
Don't you worry about it, Soleus. I've got this. You can call me Essie Gray.
All right, Miss Gray. I trust you. Yeah, he's gonna go about it as stoic as he possibly can.
So I'm gonna find actually, instead of a bed, I'm gonna try to find like a larger table, actually, because I want it hard so that he can't like flinch away from me. And I'm going to set that up. I'm gonna probably do like a little drape, a blanket over it, and then I'm gonna put up all of mine to try to make them as sterile as possible on the other, like find a little table. And eventually when I'm ready, I'm just gonna like pop my head out the door and all my things go up, and I'm gonna say, all right, Soleus, I'm ready.
All right. And he takes the top part of his robe off and he lies down on the table.
Yeah, thanks for disrobing. All right, so she's just gonna like pull her sleeves up. She's got like her jacket came off, so she's just got this like little white shirt with almost like suspenders that she like pushes up rolls up her sleeves. Her hair is all nice and tidy back, and then she's actually taken off her glasses and she's like got these goggles on that also just like she's got little magnifying lenses. And she'll start like injecting the site with some numbing. It's almost probably like a little low dose of acid to like numb the site.
Ouch.
Or something like that to numb
Nice.
the area.
So
And then-
we're gonna. Oh, go ahead.
Nope, that's it. I'm like
Okay.
a
What I'm gonna
mad
do here-
scientist over him.
Is I'll take a medicine check to start, and then a check with your harvester's tools.
Yes.
Oh, you
So I've given myself the Elspeth Pike Guarantee of Excellence, and I already actually pre-rolled this. So the first one was a 16 plus 4, so dirty 20 plus 0. So the first one is a
God.
dirty 20 for medicine.
Okay.
And then the second one is real good. It's a 15 plus 3, so 15, 16, 18 plus 19, 20, 21, 24. So am I using my dexterity or my intelligence for this? Intelligence?
Let's do dexterity for harvesting.
It's 27.
Thank
Okay,
God.
and then Soleus, I'll need a Constitution check from you.
Kit is holding Soleus's hand through this, looking
And then
kind of concerned.
Now breathe out. This is going to be the hard part.
Can I burn a key point to do stillness of mind?
What does that? What does that get you?
Nothing, but I just like the way it sounds, and
Yeah.
it
Why
just
not?
like,
Does he get
Just-
any help from me holding his hand?
I'm
Sure. Between those two, you can take advantage on your Constitution saving throw.
I'm also trying to like talk him through something else, and I'm just going to be like, as I'm working, she's just going to be like, now tell me about the light and how, and then she'll like do it so that he's
Yeah,
as
cut
relaxed
the
as
optic nerve
possible.
real quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
the second it happens, he gets shockingly still. Okay, that's a net 20, baby. I got a 20 and a 1.
Oh my god.
All right. Take. You're gonna take overall 21 points of damage from this
That makes sense.
experience.
That's actually not bad, all things considering.
You take overall 21 points of damage, but you were able to successfully implant other sight and attune to it. It hurts like the worst thing you've ever experienced, right?
Yeah.
Like this is on par with genuine torture.
Okay, and yeah, he when it's done, you don't see him for the rest of the the day. He basically just goes and hides.
It's wow. When she like sits him up, she's like, "Well, I was lying. I never saw the Greys perform surgery, but I think that was on par with one of their capabilities."
Yeah, so the eye socket continues to bleed today, right? Like,
it's his right eye too. So it's like, is it a different color? Or it's just silver, I guess.
It's metal. Yeah, it's a silver metallic color. There's a lot of runes on it, and the runes glow faintly.
It looks great. You're even more handsome now than you were before.
Thank you, Miss Pike.
The eye tracks like with the other one. Like it moves as he's looking around. It's a little weird, Slayus. Like it's disconcerting. Like you can feel the cold in there, right? And then when you go to use your power, right? Like you feel this like sharp pain every time, almost as if something is biting into the inside of your eye socket.
Yeah, and it flares.
Essie's gonna have a little parchment paper and an ink pen, and she's gonna say, "All right, 0 out of 10. What would you rate your pain at?"
8.
All right. When you move it, does it get worse? Is there any burning?
Still 8.
All right. Follow my finger. She'll like go up and do the whole cardinal directions.
No, it's still 8.
All right, try to keep it open as much as possible. I think that's probably the best.
And I use detect magic, and it goes 10. 10.
All right. I think that's probably gonna go away tomorrow once your eyes like all set in and figures it out. Does it work?
This is like medical advice from Facebook right here. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
Does it work? Can you see?
Yeah, do I detect magic items?
Yeah, it detects magic. Absolutely.
I'm imagining like a cartoon when like an eyeball just comes out of its socket, you know? It makes like a noise, boing.
And it's just like, rrr, rrr.
Yeah, when you use your power, the bleeding increases, right? And you do take 1 hit point of damage. But the eye glows a little bit, and you can see magic, right? As if you're under the effects of the detect magic spell.
Right.
I'm just like writing down everything that I'm seeing and that he's telling me.
You're glowing, Essie.
I am pure magic. That's what my mom says.
If you wouldn't mind, I will meet up with you all later.
I'm going to do 15-minute checks for the first hour, and then I'm going to do hourly checks for the next couple hours. All right? Just to make sure it doesn't, like, get infected or... But you're fine. No weird neurological symptoms, so I'll check in a couple minutes.
Thank you again. And how, like, would I be able to put this on my character sheet? Like, would I be able to find it?
You should be able to, yeah. So you should be able to find it and put it on. If you need some help, I'm happy to work with you.
Okay.
I would like to find Zagrin after this, and just Zagrin, do you have that short sword still?
I do, and kind of like goes through his pack and brings it out.
Are you planning on using it?
Never been much for the blade myself.
I thought I might give it a try.
Absolutely.
If you don't mind?
Hand it over. Seems more fitting of your expertise than mine.
All right, thank you. I figure we'll need everything we have tonight.
Do you feel particularly in danger, Kit? You seem a little distracted.
No, actually, I'm not really afraid at all. But I know there's a lot riding on this tonight, so I want to be prepared.
Of course, and I appreciate the confidence. I think that though you seem distracted, there is a sense of calm about you, and I just want to make sure you're okay.
Well, thank you. What about you?
Yes, attending a social gathering is well within my wheelhouse and something I'm looking forward to, if I'm being honest.
I imagine this is more up your alley, this type of thing. I've never been to one myself, but I don't think I'll be really doing much chatting.
I'll give you a little insider tip. The first hors d'oeuvres that are going around, don't fill up on them. They always try to fill everyone up on the cheap stuff first. The second or third round, that's when you want to try to get your handfuls in.
Excellent advice. Thank you.
Of course.
Noted.
Zagrin, question for you. Do you want to spend some time today diving further into that book?
I do, and before I do, I guess Essie, I'll walk up to Essie and just say, that breastplate that the Major gave us, I think it might look striking on me, wouldn't you agree? If we have no other use, I think I could maybe replace what was damaged by the hags with that fine specimen.
Yeah, you can't be, if someone lands a real good blow on you, it won't be able to hit with this. I mean, it hits, but it won't.
To be honest, I wanted it.
It hits. I'm sorry, I misspoke. It hits you, but it negates the effects a little bit more, so you won't take as much damage when that happens.
Well, that's most pleasing. Be honest, I originally just eyed the aesthetics of it, but any additional advantage it might provide on the battlefield is more than welcome.
Yeah, it does. What's your AC? I don't know how to answer that in character.
I would guess somewhere around 14 with just my street clothes.
Oh,
if I were to pick a number out of a hat.
All right.
On like
This
a
is gonna
scale
make
of
that
1 to 20.
This is like whatever your. I don't know if you're very dexterous, but this is gonna do 14 plus your dexterity.
Most dexterous, I think. Kind of
Right.
like looks all limber.
All right.
And perhaps while you're gathering supplies, I intend to dig a little bit deeper into the reading materials the hags left behind and see if we can get a better sense of what they might have been up to and who else might know or they've been conspiring with.
Yeah, I'd like that. Figure that out a little bit. But I also need a dress.
Of course.
It's high on my priority list.
So, Seleas, just for a heads up, for the next couple hours, your vision is a little bit blurry as you adjust to this thing, but you rolled really well on your Constitution save, and everyone did well on the various checks. So it only lasts for a couple hours. It's not going to impact you tonight at the party.
I also appreciate that we go to the Major's house and we're like, do you mind if we do some light surgery in your back room? Like, don't mind us.
He's probably like used to that with Essie. She's a little quirky.
Let's use the kitchen. The counter's in there.
Yeah.
The right,
Don't worry,
right spot to do it.
I cleaned up the blood. It's fine.
Yeah, so y'all are able to get rooms at the manor that the major is using. It's a pretty nice place, right? There are a couple of servants who are happy to help you get stuff and get ready for the party. Zagrin, if you're going to be digging into that book, roll me an investigation check, please. See if you can get anything useful in the time that you're reading here.
Alrighty, and I'm going to burn my inspiration and roll with advantage. 15.
15. All right. 15.
Should I have... Wait, what was this that he's doing? Sorry, I was distracted. He's looking through the book?
Yeah, he's out digging into the book.
Can I have given him the Elspeth Pact Guarantee of Excellence?
Zagrin, were you doing this off by yourself?
No, I mentioned right before, like, I'm going to be digging through this book after I, like, put on the breastplate. So it could be, like, as that conversation with Essie is happening right before I go to leave to read the book, she gives me the guarantee.
Yeah. So add
it adds a whole +1.
And then I'm going to say, Zagrin, come on, didn't you catch this? I'm going to give you my flash of genius to add 5 to that.
All right, so total of 21.
Yeah,
that's
that
a little
that
bit
changes things.
Didn't you see that there? Look, right there. Don't you see that line?
I thought that said ham sandwich. Ah, I see that the writing is awful in this book. It clearly says hermetic.
So two interesting things, right? One, it looks like what the reason they're after this demon, or Morgana was after this demon in particular, is she believes that she is, or she was, she believed, you know what I'm saying, past tense because she's dead, believed that she was the product of a demon and a mortal woman, and she has been looking for this demon to take revenge on it, destroy it, whatever, right? And that's the demon that she was after. On top of that, you see a note, like you almost go right past it, right? But you realize that the Dust Song Sisters have actually been in communication with some folks out of Icehaven, and in fact, they have been acquiring magical items from someone there in Icehaven, and they have some references. They have some references to the person they're dealing with, and it's just N in the book, like the letter N.
I'm like taking notes as I'm flipping through pages and just on parchment and write that down and circle it like 5 times.
N. All right, so let's just dial back who we know in this area that the names start with N. Okay, we've got Nikolai, the Guildmaster for the Thieves Guild. We've got Mayor Ernath Nowak is his last name, and that's it. That's the only N names I've got in the area, unless somebody's got more.
No, I believe that's all I can recall. And so it seems that she's been getting magical items from either the mayor or the Thieves Guild, potentially, and has a sense of daddy issues. Can't say I'm too surprised to find that in a journal.
Yeah, she had a lot of issues. So daddy issues, that checks out. She probably got mommy issues and sister issues and, I don't know, maybe brother issues. I don't know if there's a male witch, but issues.
It also, as a potential suspect, I would put the Cerberus Assembly, or one of their cohorts. After all, they were the ones that were guarding the warehouse of the magic items and would have easy access. And we don't know the identity of most of those individuals.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. You're very right. We don't. Well, at least we can keep on the lookout and tell Major Cullen about it. Keep on the lookout. Thinking back to that conversation with the mayor, did he seem like totally above board, or was there anything slippery in his countenance when he was talking to me? Probably couldn't tell now. That was a ways ago. Yeah, like, you know, like he's sneaky or hiding something, or
you know, you didn't get any particular like devious vibes off him, right? Like, seemed straightforward. That being said, right, like, you're unlikely to be mayor or being simple and straightforward all the time, right? So who knows? Or
that's very true. All right, well, we got two potential suspects, and then at least something of a lead as far as where those magical items are being acquired from. Do you think we can get another breastplate if we go figure this out? What are the chances he's got 2 snuck in that closet somewhere? I'm just kidding. All right. Anything else good in that book?
That's what you've managed to get with what you have today. with the time you have today. Speaking of which, while you're preparing for the party, again, feel free to have servants grab you stuff, get ready how you need, and of course, Major Cullen does end up coming around and, meet you all before the party. For those that are going, who's going proper? Like, y'all are, as guests, it's Zagrin and Essie, right? And then Soleus and Kit are sneaking in, pretending to be servants. What's our thing here?
Kit
the way y'all are
didn't
getting
talk
it.
about it yet.
I was thinking of maybe going in either disguised or invisible.
Well, I could do either.
Calamity
Me
is
too.
definitely going in proper, and given the chance, she's gonna get some garishly clashing colored dress to wear on,
Oh.
right? Like 4
no.
different colors at least.
Nice.
Right.
Stop it. Oh, Lord.
Do I have a nice set of black wool
Did I find any nice tweed?
jacket and
You can if you want to, for sure, and you can get it well cut and suited to you for a low price of 30 gold in time.
what a bargain! Oh my god,
Can't afford not to.
This
Yeah.
is terrible.
that's a steal.
This is
Awesome.
great.
I think we should go in invisible. I don't know if you agree, Soleus, but
I could do either.
we could start invisible and then I can also disguise myself. So if
Same.
need be.
Okay. Well,
Or we could do the opposite. Up to you.
I would go in as characters and then just slip out.
Maybe, yeah, that could be fun. Let's do that. Let's disguise ourselves. We could be like, oh, is this a masquerade or is it just a regular?
Regular party, yeah, no mask. I know, I screwed up. I should have made
Darn.
it a masquerade party.
Just gonna do some like black raven feather mask thing. That'd be cool.
You can still do it. It's a pretty weird place.
I don't want to be conspicuous. I would just like disguise myself as I would scope out to see what some of the guests look like and then just try to blend in a nice dress, nice hair and makeup, whatever, and go in
Great.
maybe with Soleus like, arm in arm.
Yeah.
Essie's definitely wearing like her shoulders are bare, but then she's got like this almost sheer material down her arms. Then she's got this like almost like frilly top, but then it's got this really nice corset, like midriff area, and then it goes down into this just very nice, like A-line drapey material. It's definitely like got tans and whites is what she's going with for colors, but she looks like very nice.
Yeah, with work, you can get Calamity down to only 3 colors.
Calamity, we have
Nice.
to at least have colors that semi go together. All right. You don't-
Fuchsia, lime green, and aqua blue. Is
Oh
that
God.
what we're-
No.
And can't
listen.
forget, she definitely wants some pink in there. She'll just wear pink gloves, like that's it.
accent?
I just
Accent gloves, yeah.
worry that if you wear too many colors, people are going to laugh at you. And I don't want you to go to a party and expect to have fun and then have people make fun of you.
She looks, she goes, I think they'd laugh at me. They'd regret it.
No, they wouldn't, because I would absolutely not tolerate any fireballs in this gala.
A little burn.
No.
Teach them a lesson, burn.
No, Calamity, these are powerful folks, and if you piss them off, I can't save you from what happens next, all right? No fire unless absolutely necessary. You
I'll
better
bend-
look at me.
I'll bend down to Calamity and say, keep it in your back pocket. We might need it.
We'll give you a sign.
Kit, don't encourage this.
I'm just saying it might be necessary. We don't know what's going to happen tonight.
Well, oh, Lord.
It's good to have it in the arsenal.
Yeah, and I think with a disguised self, I can cover up the eye, right?
Of course you can. Yep.
Okay. So yeah, I'll be able to. I'll be fine until my eye starts bleeding.
Yeah,
Oh my god, just blood.
no big deal. Little
That would be so
Gonna
cool
be
from
like-
behind the white mask.
Oh my god, it would be
Is
so
it-
cool. Especially
is
if it was a
it-
masquerade.
Is it Mads Mikkelsen in one of the James Bonds?
Oh
And
my
he's like,
God,
"I
yes.
That's
did
exactly
it."
it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what it
Yes.
is.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
The inspiration for catching it, and also negative inspiration for calling me out on it.
Oh,
So
they
both.
canceled
No, no.
Um, So, folks, with that, if no one has any objections, we're going to take a break and come back with y'all going to the party. Everybody ready?
Mhm. Yeah.
All right. Folks, thanks for hanging out for the first half. We're going to take a break, so we'll be back in about 10 minutes. So think around 2:45 Central Time. We'll see you
Yes.
here. Same bad time, same bad channel. All right? See you in a second, folks. So close. We were back, and now we're back again. Took me a minute. Hey, everybody. First off, you should be able to hear all of our cast, which is good. Yeah, there we go.
What
Perfect.
happened?
Oh, don't worry about it. Just
Okay.
some behind the scenes button pressing gone wrong. It's gone bad. Yeah. So, folks, welcome to the second half of episode 29. Bad time to start coughing. Welcome to the second half of episode 29 of Best Left Buried. Join our heroes as they finally make it to the party, the gala at Black Sands Manor. Right. The first half of this episode, there was a lot of folks kind of coming to terms with what happened last time, right? So for a while now, our party has been really since coming to Icehaven, our party has been kind of tracked and harassed and bothered by these witches that were based in this grove outside of town, to the point where you actually got attacked by a bunch of shadow demons and some witches at your inn at the Rusty Cup. But you went out, you got some vengeance, you came back. Kit had an encounter with a raven and maybe a raven queen. Zagrin learned a little bit about not so much why the witches were after him, the Dust Song Sisters, and a little more insight into the level of interest that the Children of Malice have in him, right? Saleus got a brand new eye, other sight, and Essie got her report in with the major, got her new dress, and are we all ready to go? Did I miss anything?
I became Essie Gray.
Say again.
I became Essie Gray.
Oh,
Grey's
yeah.
Anatomy.
Oh, yes. Right. Sorry. Got it. I was like, should I change the way I announce her when she gets to the party? Or what's going to happen here?
No. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm just trying to fit in as many mainstream things into Zadash as possible.
It's a good
Land of
alias,
pop
though.
culture.
Exactly. We are developing the pop culture of
mythology.
Zadash.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. It's good. It's good. All right. So with that, let's get right back into the action, shall we? So we're all going. Are we all going with the major? So he's got a carriage coming, right? He's got a carriage coming.
I'll be in the carriage for sure.
Yeah.
So you're
I'll
his
hit the
date. So
ride.
you're definitely going with him.
Yeah, 100%.
I'll be the awkward third wheel.
So
Can we catch a cab or something?
yeah, like can we go differently, or can we just be like, yeah, you guys go on without us, kind of deal?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll stick around here. You guys go.
So y'all are gonna go later. Y'all are gonna arrive later.
Yeah, like hop along the rooftops and then like kind of get there at the same time, but just show up as different people.
Mm-hmm, not
You're
associated.
gonna arrive later,
Yeah,
or at the same time.
I would say like not late, but maybe like a little later.
yeah. We don't want to make a scene. That's it. We don't want to stand out.
Yeah.
So
Please
You're
tell
gonna
me
come in with the rush.
yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
Please tell me you guys have like tearaway suits, right? With like the fancy suits underneath. Like you've got your like heist outfit and then your like party outfit in case things go wrong.
A
We got
jumpsuit over
disguise
top
self.
that you can like rip away.
Yeah, we're technically like Mystique over here. Where we just think about it and goes.
Exactly.
We're the scariest
the
folks
three
at
of-
the party.
The three of us are going to have to excuse ourselves every hour to go refresh our clothes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I'm wearing my dress, my fancy dress tweeds. So that's my backup.
Yeah, I've got no backup. I look like a scary tattooed drow with one eye underneath this.
Listen, magic eye replacements, collars that let you control drakes is all acceptable. A fancy dress made of tweed, that's where I draw the line.
Yeah.
100%.
Unacceptable.
Totally
agreed.
implausible.
Something's up with that person over there on the
Ridiculous.
tweed.
Okay. All right, folks. With that, let's jump back in. Fancy party.
Got some fancy party music.
Essie's
Yes.
dress definitely has
Yes, I
like a
do.
slit up one side of her leg. Not super crazy, but like definitely above the
Uh-oh.
knee.
Oh shit. Uh,
She's like
we got bare
maximized-
ankles out here, folks. Let's
She's
get
like-
it.
maximizing her physical appearance to distract in any way that she can, for sure. She knows
Yeah.
how this world works.
Major Cullen is, he takes seconds like, Elspeth, you look absolutely radiant. Thank you so much for agreeing to join me.
You look dashing as well.
So he's wearing his dress uniform, right? So, thick wool stuff, lots of buttons and medals and things, and he's got his sword. It's very fancy looking at his side. He's got like a big hat, with some like tassels and stuff. All that business.
We cannot say enough about a man in uniform. That's all I'm saying. Essie's all about
Okay.
that.
Nice. And so he joins you, and y'all ride together. And Zagran, you're coming along in the carriage.
Yep.
Have you given him your full name? Like, do we knows you're Zagran
Yeah.
Belton now?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Like-
he's no surprise.
Lord Beltoon.
Major.
On the carriage
know.
ride over. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say on the carriage ride over, I think I would have like met Zagran's eyes and then just said, "We do have an update about the acquisition of magical items that are being taken," and she'll just like explain a little bit. Those Dusk Song sisters were talking to somebody with the initial or with N. The only two people I know with N that could be this person is the mayor or the Thieves Guild master.
Allegedly.
Wait, I'm sorry. You know someone who runs the Thieves Guild? Or Guild
Allegedly.
of Thieves here in Icehaven?
We've already established that.
Snitches get stitches.
He didn't know that.
Well, we told him that the Thieves Guild were like people in the Thieves Guild were hunting for him, didn't
Told
we?
him some thieves were hired to kill him, right? But yeah, anyway, great news. So
How we know that news? Diplomatic immunity. But those are the two sources I have, the leads that we have so far on that job.
very well. Well, I would appreciate the opportunity to learn more about these thieves and what you know. But certainly, if you know the name or the appearance of their leader, I would
I
be
personally don't.
very interested in arranging a meeting.
I don't know what
He
they look
seems
like. I just
there's
know
a lot of
name.
menace in his voice with that arranging a meeting.
I don't know anything about them other than a name. Nikolai. That's all I know.
Nikolai.
Allegedly.
Thank you, Miss Pike and Lord Belton. Now, I would say for you then, Zagran, tell me a little bit about yourself and what brings you, your companion, into the Empire.
Oh, Major, it's always business with you, isn't it? Not one night of just luxury and excess is allowed. We must talk business at every corner. I think you'll find I'm not as loose-lipped as my companion here. Just rest assured that, as I've told you before, and I mean it with all sincerity, that this doesn't concern Empire business. I'm merely a traveler looking to get somewhere outside of the Empire. And rest assured that nothing I'm doing here has any effect on Icehaven or the Empire as a whole. And I think that we've earned at least enough trust amongst ourselves at this point that you can take me at my word at that much at least.
Roll me a persuasion, please.
21.
Yeah, goes fair enough. Zagran, fair enough. But I'd ask you this: considering the times being what they are, and considering the violence between our peoples, I'd ask that, or I would offer that, should you need someone to communicate with, someone maybe has a different path to the king and the power here in the Empire, that if it were valuable to talk or to share information, I would be keen to share information with you.
I appreciate that offer, Major, sincerely, and I believe that after we have our fun tonight and enjoy the soiree, that perhaps I'll take you up on that. In the interim, while we're attending this function, I would ask that you keep my relationship with outside geopolitical forces, keep it in the carriage for now, while I'll be using my real name, as we are hoping that anyone who wants me dead might see my face as still being here in Ice Haven. I'm not keen on revealing my relationship with the dynasty tonight, and I just ask that we keep that amongst ourselves.
Of course. But only let it be known that should you be looking to pursue a path of peace, be aware that you have allies here in the Empire. Fair enough?
More than fair, as always, Major.
Excellent. Well, I'm ready for an entertaining evening. Smiles at you both.
Now you're speaking my language.
And let's try to keep you from being assassinated tonight.
He goes, we're in a very secure location here for this party, and trust me, I can handle myself.
I don't doubt that, but I would prefer not to see you lying on the floor bleeding, so.
Of course, but a life lived in fear is a life not worth living.
I suppose I'd drink to that.
All right, and so the carriage is gonna roll up to the party. Kit and Slayus, we're shadowing the carriage. Is that right?
Sure. I mean, we're just kind of going on foot.
I mean, it doesn't really matter when we show up, just around the same time.
Yeah.
Right. I was asking if y'all were shadowing the carriage or not.
Okay. Should
Nah.
we? We could.
Nah.
Yeah.
Well, wait. We know that he's being targeted to be assassinated. So it would make sense probably to shadow the carriage, actually,
No. Okay. Yeah.
in case whoever it is tries to attack him before he even gets to the party.
That's it. We'll go from rooftop to rooftop until there are no rooftops to go to, and then yeah.
I think
Chill.
like right before we get to this party, Essie's gonna take out some things from her bag and she's gonna start fiddling, and she's going to do her Eldritch Cannon Protector, and she's just gonna like hitch up her skirt a little bit and attach it to like the inside of her thigh so it's hidden.
Nice.
And then just like a thing of protective energy is gonna come out, and everyone's
Nice.
gonna get 10 temporary hit points that's in the carriage.
Yeah, as you do the operation, Major Cullen gives you a smile. Goes, all right.
That'll give you a little extra protection if you stick close.
You'll have to keep me away.
She'll actually get a little red
Nice.
in the neck.
Kit, are you using your new Raven companion?
Absolutely. So how that works, do I have to summon him?
So you can, at any point, right, summon him and he appears. He doesn't talk, but he can communicate with you in feelings. He can communicate with you in feelings and impressions, and you can treat him a lot like a familiar for most purposes. So you can see through his eyes if you need to, and have him help you look at things, right? And he can bring things to your attention. He can also send you images or sounds when he wants to.
My Kit, I knew there was something different about you.
So I'll just like think this to him, to the companion, like, do you have a name? What do I call you?
Yeah, you get a feeling of like amusement back, and a little warmth.
Well, I guess for now I like the name Myrtle. How do you like that?
You get a kind of feeling.
All right. Well, I'll call you Myrtle for now, and if you just stick around, it might be nice having you close by.
There's a solemn kind of confirmation, right? Along with that, a sense of vigilance, paired with a sigh at calling them Myrtle for now.
Murdo.
Either way. Okay.
Hey,
great.
you didn't give me anything else, so.
Roll me.
I take it I see this guy too, right?
You do. You see it when she summons it, right? And when you summon it, it is just like a bunch of smoke coalesces into a raven, and when you dismiss it, it's just when it
So
becomes
cool.
ethereal.
Very interesting.
very much like what you saw happen with Essie when she grabbed the thing and it just disappeared into smoke during your raven hunt.
When we were so cool and absolutely nailed the landing.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll just turn to Celeste and I'll say, "That's my new friend. His name is Myrto. He's here to help."
Very peculiar.
So roll me a perception check, Kit, with advantage because you've got Murdo helping you.
Okay, perception. That would be a 15.
Okay. So one thing you note as the carriage is going, you're not positive, but you think you see someone watching it. But it's hard to tell. There's a number of folks out this evening, and it is evening as you go. But you see a cloaked figure scope out the carriage and duck back into an alley.
In an alley.
Someone's watching. Silius. Best be on our guard.
Where did you see them?
They ducked into that alley. It's a cloaked figure. I didn't get much else from that, but I'm afraid it might be... It could be whoever's after the Major.
Would it be a good idea to send you a new friend?
I'll look up at Murdo, because that's his name now. Would you mind going and seeing who that figure was that ducked into the alley?
A bird
something
flying
you can do?
around swoops down and disappears into the alley, and you can see an image in your mind of a cloaked figure, starting to mount a horse in the alley.
Is the horse like? Is he making his escape, or like is he?
So it's a still image just of the figure starting to mount the
Oh,
horse. But if you
I
want,
see.
you can look through Murdo's eyes at any point.
Yeah. That means I would lose my vision. So I'll just grab hold of Silius's shoulder and see if I can.
Yeah, you close your eyes and you can see Murdo watching as this figure's starting to get their stuff on the horse and begins to kick the thing out and charging out another way, not the same way the carriage was going, but out the alley the other way. You want Murdo to follow?
Yeah.
Okay. He takes off flying after this thing. The figure that's riding is riding at some speed and is going in the same general direction as the carriage, but not following it directly.
Okay. I just want to mark any distinguishing features, if possible, about the horse and or the rider, so that I can look for them at the party.
The horse is like I think it's called dappled, right? Like it's white and brown. White and brown with like a bunch of spots on it. Yeah. And the figure's wearing a heavy cloak.
Okay. Is it a big person, small person, average?
Looks relatively small.
All right. I will look over I'll open my eyes, look back at Seleus and say, yeah, they might be going to the party. We should look for them once we arrive, but let's make haste.
Okay.
Excellent.
Sorry. Zagrin, Essie, Calamity, and Major Cullen, you arrive at the party at Black Sands Manor. So it's a ways out of town. Right? There's kind of a lot of road you have to take, and they've got this very big private driveway. So there's like a walled compound, right? A walled compound. There are guards at the front, and as you get out here, like just getting towards the place, you see lights, like kind of like street lights, but they are clearly free floating magical lights, right? Just like globes of light out there surrounding this place. As you get to the main gate, as your carriage gets to the main gate, it swings open silently. These ornate gates swing open silently. There are guards there. And then as you go through, you are in this extremely well manicured place, right? There are gardens, there are water features, there is you can see a hedge maze, right? Along with a bunch of, when people like do hedge sculptures, I forget what the name is for that. There's a word for it though. Inspiration, whoever figures it out. But there's a bunch of things that have been sculpted out of various plants here, and you see
like
this
a hedge.
Yeah, but there's a word for when you make
Topiary.
Topiary.
Oh,
Yes, Josh, take inspiration for Zagrin. Yeah, thank you. God, that was killing me. So this artful topiary or topiary displays in the grounds, and this manor is a solid 3-story monster of a house. And as you pull out, right, like there are servants, they help you down from the carriage and things, and you can see standing on either side of the main doorway are these large stone constructs, just standing there like looking out, but they are clearly like active and animate, but they stand entirely still, along with servants. And there's more of this magical lighting.
As they approach, and especially as they get closer to leaving the carriage, Zagrin says, "Now, just one moment while I freshen up before we exit the carriage." And inside the carriage, he summons Liramnor, refreshes his clothes with the disguised self, and then dismisses it and says, "Don't mind that, Major. Just something that keeps me looking this handsome."
That was very well. And Calamity looks over and she goes, "Yeah, he needs a lot of work." And she does a little elbow you in the side. I'm kidding.
Of course you are, and I'll tussle her hair.
She like smiles at first and then looks pissed, like really quickly.
Does she have hair?
Oh right, no, not much.
She has like
It's
the
growing
braided
back. Yeah, no, she lost most of it to that.
Oh, that's
burn.
right.
It's growing back, but she's not able to braid it yet, and she's still very sensitive about it. Still very
Sorry,
sensitive.
Bryn. Here, I'll try to like smooth it back into place.
Yes.
It looks very nice.
Thank you, Nessie. Thank you.
Does it have an illusion spell? You can give her some hair.
Yeah, I was developing a new spell. It's called Grow Hair. Very powerful.
Pompadour.
We need to find a magic wig for her to attune to.
That would actually be pretty sick. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
It'd be nice. Yeah.
Quaffamancy.
Damn it! Take inspiration from Quaffamancy. I hate it, but I love it. Okay, so you get there, right, and you're brought in through the main entrance. So the main doors are, again, like everything here seems like a little oversized. And you'll note, for those who know about Lady Rigel, she is a very wealthy woman. She's not based here in Icehaven, right? She's usually out in the capital, and she is a relatively older dwarvish woman. So she clearly doesn't need things to be this ridiculously big. But there they are. As you go through the main doors into the entrance hall, right? Like this is a nice place, right? Like you've got marble floors, you've got, art all over the walls, tapestries, nice rugs. The furniture's all very like expensive, but still tasteful, right? Like it's very well put together, right? As if, you had a proper interior decorator do this setup. As you come in, there's servants going around with like hors d'oeuvres and drinks and things. But notably, the bulk of the serving staff here are like invisible servants. This is magically delivered stuff, right? And all the lighting inside are these magical lights, not traditional illumination. As you come in, you can hear a band playing. It's like very kind of nice, easy classical music going on. And as you get in through the far side of the entrance hall, there is this steward there announcing people into the main hall as they go in. So there's a little line to get like announced, and then you can go through that one. And so Major Cullen takes you, Essie. He offers you his hand, and if you'll join him, he'll go take you into the line to go get announced.
I'll take it for sure.
Y'all showed up not early, but not late either, right? So a little bit past on time.
You don't want to. That's embarrassing to be the first person there.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
To do that. But as you're looking around, there's a lot of folks out there, right? You can see a number of folks, including the mayor is there, Mayor Nowak. You can see a few other soldiers. There's guards, right? In fact, there's a good number of guards in this place, and they all look very capable, right? Like these aren't people that just got hired to put on suits and look menacing. These are people that seem genuinely menacing. So Calamity and Zagrin, or Calamity looks at you, Zagrin, she goes, "I'm not getting in the announcement. I'm gonna go."
Of course not. We don't need the crutch of making an impression of having our names screamed from the rooftops. We can be known all by ourselves.
He goes, "Look at me. I make an impression already." And she shows off her pink gloves and
Precisely.
with the nice, green and blue dress that she's got going on here.
Zagrin, I think that's called not being important enough to be spoken out loud what your name is.
Oh, we'll see who's known by the end of this evening. And I kind of like hook arms with Calamity. Let us be off.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, so she's way too short to hook arms with. Like, in fact, your height disparity is like dramatic. So she's like reaching up to grab your hand
Yeah, we'll
Or,
hold
like-
hands and I'm reaching down, almost like walking with like a little bit of a limp to try to make it work, but as smooth as possible.
Yeah, she's like 2.5 feet tall, so it's pretty dramatic. But she does get very excited about getting herself some drinks. She does seem very excited about getting herself some drinks, and is able to start on that pretty quickly. So, anything y'all would like to do? You've got you've got this entrance hall. Sorry, I should have been more clear. You've got this entrance hall. You've got a bit of a sitting room off to the right. There's a stairway that leads up, which doesn't it's got like a little velvet rope, keeping folks from going up. And there's some more doors off to the left, and there's the big entrance area, like the main hall ballroom area ahead of you.
Can I do a sweep and just see if there is anyone that is suspicious as far as like people we think are acting weird or looking at Cullen specifically, like people that might jump out and assassinate him, and or people that are trying to subtly blend in with the crowd but they don't look like they belong?
Yeah, roll me a perception check.
I'll see if I
No,
can-
roll me
Excellent.
a insight check.
Okay. Not as good. 15.
You're looking for bad intents.
Yeah. 15 total.
15. You don't see anybody that looks like, they've got like the dagger behind their back, like walking up to say hi. But a couple things stand out, right? You do see the mayor look at the two of you and like do a bit of a double take, and he gives a look to Major Cullen that is not friendly, right? That is decidedly not friendly, right? Is it murderous? Probably not, right? But it's not a friendly look. On top of that, you see someone notice you from the ballroom, and it is that mage that you met when you went to go see Cerberus, that halfling woman, and she's drinking something. She's dressed really like she's got a fancy gown on, and she's there with a couple other folks, and she's taking a sip, and she makes eye contact with you and just has like the slightest smirk as she does it.
I'll like look at her and give her a very dismissed look and then look away. Like almost as if I size her up and I find her lacking, like not worth my time, and then I look away.
Nice. On top of that, there is a fairly large, older, and well-dressed dragonborn man. He's got an eye patch over his right eye. Pardon me, over his right eye, and he's dressed in a way that doesn't look in keeping with the styles of the Empire, and actually Zagran looks almost a bit more like the contemporary style that you see in the Dynasty.
Kind of look to Calamity and then point to the Dragonborn. So I guess we could have worn the ceremonial robes. He understands comfort.
Yeah, he's currently carrying 2 drinks and carrying on a conversation with some folks.
I want to maneuver towards him and try to eavesdrop on his conversation, but not approach him, but just like position myself in Calamity, like behind him or something, so we're listening but pretending to talk.
Yeah. You can hear him talking, and he's discussing the price of shipping, right? And how things have gone up, especially in relation to the ice coming in, right? He says it's coming in earlier than ever this year, and so he expects that to have a pretty big impact. But he's largely talking to folks about shipping concerns, as far as you can tell.
Excuse me, sir, I couldn't help but overhear. I'm assuming that you're referring to the recent accident or unfortunate happenstance with, and I can't remember the boat's name, but the one that we heard about from the town crier.
Right.
I'll reference the name of that boat.
I think it was the Merry Wind, if I have it right.
Yes, you must be referring to the Merry Wind.
He looks at you, goes, and he looks at you, and he pauses for a second, and he sees you, goes, I am, and Pleasure to meet you. I'm Captain Tharna Still. And you are?
I'm Zagrin. Pleasure to meet you, and extend a hand.
He shakes a hand. He shakes your hand. Goes, indeed, a pleasure. Yes,
Are you associated with the shipping here?
I am a captain, and my ship is in port, and will be for another week. But I've noticed that the seas here in the north are colder now than they have been in some time. And the question I have for my Imperial colleague, and he looks at the guy he's talking to, is, will they, or won't they, with this new lighthouse, find a way to keep the harbor open?
Well, I most certainly hope so. I'm hoping to catch a ship out of town myself, and, well, it's been troubling, the news I've been hearing recently amongst the townfolk, and was hoping that perhaps you could provide me some assurance. Unfortunately, it seems that we're both left in a bit of a quandary about our fates and how they relate to the recent weather events.
Yeah, so the person he's talking to, looks pretty flustered, right? Dressed like a noble in the of the Empire, right? Human man, and like you notice he doesn't move very well. Like he's got a pretty solid limp, and he's got a cane to go with it. But he tries to assure that the Empire will keep the port open, and that the lighthouse represents the Imperial commitment to keeping this harbor safe, right? Yeah.
Perhaps on to more pleasant notes then. After all, we're not here to fret about what the future might bring. I couldn't help but note your impeccable fashion sense, and you seem like a well-traveled man. I was wondering where you acquired such a garment.
Ah, yes. I appreciate you saying so. You see, as you can tell, I am not from the Empire, but instead am a well-traveled man who has been many places.
And where, pray tell, did you acquire that piece in particular? It's striking, seems very comfortable, much more comfortable than these stuffy suits, if I'm speaking frankly.
Indeed. These I picked up down at Port Damali on my last visit. They are quite striking.
And do I recognize the name of that port?
It is certainly not a place in the Empire, right? It's not a place in Zor or in the Dynasty, right?
Okay. Yes, well, I might have to make my way down there sometime. It seems that they have some particularly good fashion sense.
Indeed.
And I'll kind of raise my glass to being well-traveled and experiencing
Indeed.
Different cultures.
And he toasts and he downs completely the drink that he had, and passes it off to a passing servant and starts looking around, eyeing for another. All right, with that, Kit and Saleus, you get there as the press is really coming in, right? So that there are now crowds getting closer to the manor there, and you're able to kind of blend in with that group. Your invitations get you past the guards without issue, and you find yourself now looking at this same manor. Now there are things to do outside, right? So there are servants and things providing drinks and stuff outside. Some folks are doing like tours of the grounds. People can go do the hedge maze at any point, right? And if you're looking to disappear before getting inside, there are some opportunities. So the question is, for both of you, what are we up to? And what's our plan?
I would like to first, when we first arrive, look for that horse if I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of horses, and yes, it is among them, but the rider is not.
It is already here.
Yeah, I'll just, tell Saleus quietly. Our little friends in the hooded robe. He's here. I see his horse.
You said he was short of stature.
So a bit on the small side. Yes.
How can we get this information to Essie or Zygrin inside? Should we walk in and then disappear, or...
I should have added this before. You do now have the sending stones. So Major Cullen did give you each one. So if y'all want to split them up between you before that, you could have.
100%.
Okay. I also wanted to ask how the mechanics are exactly working for the like flashback type thing.
When you feel like it, you can just tell me about something that you'd pre-planned earlier that set you up in a good way for any particular obstacle that you should run into. Or say you wanted to, like, know if there was a back way in, or if set yourself up with, like, a servant's uniform somewhere, right? Like that kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yes. Okay.
We're kind of playing fast and loose with it here.
Okay.
We'll
So there's
figure it
not
out as we go.
any real, like, requirement for it. Okay. I would just say that Kit and Seleus probably scoped this place out ahead of time, at least the outside, and like to the best of their ability, know the general layout of it.
Okay, we'll pull it down and we'll say that you found yourself a floor plan for the manor. It may not be entirely up to date, but you've got a sense of the layout of the manor. All right, and you now have 2 of these things left.
Okay. Perhaps
One
we
thing
should
I'd add, just because you do know the layout, right? There are the guests going in, but there's an expectation that a lot of the guests are bringing servants, right? So there is a servants area, there's the stable, and there's a place for the servants to hang out over by the stable, right? Kind of keep them out of the way of the fancy people for the party.
Perhaps we should make our way inside using our disguises and see if we can get the information, even though it's a little vague. It could be helpful.
Yeah, I assume we'd know roughly where the party is being contained and like where the cutoffs are. Like they're not letting people past here or upstairs or downstairs.
So that you'll get from being in there, but what you do know is there's this entrance hall, there's a large main hall with a number of private salons, like or alcoves off it, right? There is there are a number of different places, especially upstairs. It's mostly bedrooms and offices and things like that. You know that there is on the downstairs, there is a like kind of gallery area, like a place where things are set up to show off things, right? Almost like a little museum. There's obviously like a servant's quarters connected to the kitchen with its own separate stairs to go up and down. So from the main level to upstairs to the stair above down to the basement. And the basement, however, was not much on the map, other than there was one, and there was a lot of work had been done to the basement, is what you're aware of. But the particulars of the basement is kind of unclear. You can certainly get the impression there's some stuff down there.
Yeah. And so do you want to get there through the kitchen via the dumbwaiter?
Well, we can walk in to the front door.
Yeah. This is like before we get in there, though.
What do you mean?
Like before we get in discussing, it's like, well, we're not going to search the upstairs. The basement is where we imagine this gem to be, and then.
Oh, I see.
Best place to get into the basement via this like shaft from the kitchen that goes down into there.
Stairs. It's a separate staircase for the servants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Servant staircase. Maybe adopting the look of one of the servants once we're in there.
That could work.
All I need's a tray.
All right, I'll try to find Essie and tell her.
Let's go.
So you'll begin heading into the party. Essie, you and Major Cullen are finally ready to be announced. Major Cullen Dananath and Lady Elspeth Pike. You're brought in. Folks, look at you.
Oh God, he does not actually cheer, right?
Calamity absolutely does.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah!
Cheers. Yeah. Whoa, yeah.
My hand will like tighten on his arms, so, like my nails probably bite in a little bit, and I'll say, "I'll try hard to keep him on a leash."
Some enthusiastic friends you have, Spike.
Yeah, they're going down in the friendship rating by the moment. Stop
Well, come.
embarrassing me.
Let's grab a drink. And
She'll just like as
minds at
gracefully
ease.
as humanly possible for her. She'll just like gather up her skirts as they descend the stairs or whatever. And I'm gonna be looking for specifically Lady Valandris.
Brigel Valandris, yes.
Brigel Valandris, and then any of the Cerberus mages.
Mm-hmm.
I know, like, I clocked Ileana, Swiftfoot, but just trying to pick out if I see any of their robes or them here.
Yeah. Looking around, you do see among the guards, there's a couple of Righteous Brand soldiers, and there are a couple of magi that look like they're on duty, right? And in proper uniform. But as far as guests, you only see Ileana so far. That being said, there's still a lot more folks arriving. So the composition of the party will change as we go.
And then is there any, basically, like, fancy jewelry or anything displayed? Like, any displays, like, extravagant displays at all in the area?
Yeah, so not in the main hall, but there is, and the steward told you, among the things that are there is the guests can go to the gallery. So it's like a half level down. There's like a gallery where you can tour some of the collections of Lady Valandris, right? So Lady Valandris is, again, very wealthy, and here she has a little mini museum, right? She's also very taken with magic. In fact, one more thing, as you come in here, the chandelier, right, is a series of metal rings with glowing lights just floating near points in the ring, and they all rotate. The various rings, like, they rotate in different ways, and none of them are attached to anything. They're just floating there, providing light, and as they rotate, the light in the ballroom or in the main hall changes.
That is so cool. I'm going to just... Am I going to do this? Sure, why not? As we're, like, walking around, I'm just going to, like, tap the side of my glasses, and like, this almost magical energy is going to transfer to them, and I'm going to cast See Invisibility on myself.
Yeah, okay. One thing that's notable is there's a ton of invisible servants floating around, picking things up, setting tables, things like that. Like, easily 20 in the main room right now, right? Augmenting the staff. I can speak.
Well, that's pretty interesting. How do they all look like? Who in the world has enough magic to? Cullen, there are at least 20 servants that are invisible.
This is quite the display. Like, it is a dramatic display of wealth and magical power, right? Like, it beggars the scenes that you've seen at fancy parties in the past. Like, this lady is rich.
Yeah, I'm noticing that.
Not rich, right? Y'all are rich, but she's rich.
If somebody bumps into you, it's probably a servant. There's at least 20 invisible servants around this place right now.
Ah, well. And he reaches and passing servant grabs a couple of glasses, goes, very well then. For you?
I'll take one.
Smiles.
Of course.
A toast. A beautiful evening with a beautiful companion.
It's a great thing to toast to. And then, yeah, is there anything else that I notice that's invisible, or outside of the really cool?
There's a
20?
lot. Like, there's a lot of magic. One thing, the floor actually has a lot of transmutation magic on it, right? So there are lines of magic in the floor itself, and as your eyes are drawn down to it, you notice that rotating pattern in the ceiling, right, with that chandelier type thing, is actually mirrored in the floor. And you can see similar rotations following it on the ground. And now that you're looking at it, you can see pattern shifting on the ground.
Wow, that's really cool. I'd like to at some point go down to the gallery and see what items she's got on display, but if you've got things to do as well, I'll follow your lead.
Because not much planned. I would talk, socialize. I imagine I should take a minute to meet the mayor later, and he looks over at the mayor and raises a glass. See the mayor raise a glass back.
The one glaring at you is if you'd like to have you run out of this place.
Well, politics.
Of course.
Um,
Well, I'd love to see the gallery at some point.
yeah.
And I'd love to speak to the mayor as well.
Yeah. As he's going, there's a somewhat younger but very like solid orc, kind of indeterminate gender, and he's eating a bunch, or they're eating a bunch, and Major Colin stops and goes, "Ah, Grug," and he taps him on the back. "Glad to see you made it." The soldier turns. He's got eye in his and tries to quickly finish, but he introduces you to the soldier, Grug Bloodaxe.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Grug. I'm Elspeth Pike.
Grug flushes a little bit. He goes, "It's a pleasure, Elspeth."
The pleasure's all mine. Was he one of the soldiers that was with us? Or that we saved? No.
No, this guy looks pretty fresh.
As we walk away from him, or are we still going to be there for a little bit?
Yeah, no, he moves on. He doesn't keep him, right? Just being social.
Is that someone of importance, or is that somebody that's new to the squad?
No, it's one of my men. Lady Rigel was kind enough to allow me to invite a few of my soldiers here.
Any bit helps if we need it in an emergency.
Oh, come now, Elspeth. Let go of this fear. There's no assassin's going to make a move here at this party, and of course, should they, I'll be sure to keep things handled.
Well, you gotta let me be more than a pretty accessory.
Of course.
Don't worry, I snuck in all my weapons.
He laughs again and goes, I feel like I can have a number of exciting times in your company.
I'm a jack of all trades.
No doubt.
All right.
Zagrin, moving from group to group, Calamity does look inclined to wander off if given the opportunity. You're
I think
gonna keep her
that-
with you, or you're gonna kind of let her?
No, Zagrin gets more into the conversation with the shipping guy. Nothing in particular, just more in depth in conversation, and Calamity can take her leave without any protest from him.
Okay. Yeah. Before long, you hear another announcement. Another announcement from folks, and there've been a couple, right? So they kind of keep going, but this one catches your attention as Nikolai Ironhand is announced, and you can see none other than Nikolai himself come in. His kind of that step that he has. Have you seen Nikolai before, actually? I don't think about it. I guess you haven't. Yeah.
How does the Thieves
think
Guild
just
Master
Kit
not use a
Nest-
different name? this guy really just flaunts his name. I totally thought that was not the name he was going to use. What in the world?
And so he comes
That
in.
was an
Nikolai has like a cane and a pretty clear prosthetic leg. He actually wears, like, he's wearing a very nice outfit, but like it's set off to show that leg is a prosthetic, and it's actually pretty fancy looking, right? Like, it seems to be made of a fairly strange material. He moves really well with it, although he does keep the cane. And he's got a couple folks with him as he starts moving around the ballroom. While you're there, a new person's come up to the captain and that lord, who turns out is Lord Tobias Stormfield. You get the impression pretty quickly that Lord Stormfield is not crazy sharp. But another person comes up and the conversation changes. There is an outrage around the town. It turns out that there was a massacre at a local bar here in town. Someone attacked the Rusty Cup. Outsiders are suspected of causing trouble, foreigners no less, causing trouble in town, and people are incensed that the guard hasn't done more. And the person that's carrying on with Lord Stormfield goes and mentions, it's like, ought to have these guards, round up some of these outsiders, keep them from causing trouble in town. It's too much, I say.
But haven't the guards been rounding up nearly everyone recently? It's been absurd just trying to get in and out of the place, much less from location to location within the boundaries of the city. I'm not sure rounding anybody up is doing any good for anyone. After all, the attack happened with the checkpoints in place.
I tell you, a firm hand is what's needed. This rabble, can get out of hand if not treated solidly. Now, the old mayor, or the mayor, he was weak, but I'd expect more from this new appointee from the Empire. It's disappointing, I say.
Oh, I will say that I did see some guards returning from the forest just yesterday or this morning, and they seemed like they had a lot on their plates, to say the least. They looked rather ragged coming out of the forest, but had a grin on their face, so hopefully they are attending to their needs and prioritizing accordingly.
Yeah, a tiefling woman comes over as you're saying this, and she smiles. She goes, I heard that there were gnolls out in the woods, if you wouldn't believe. Flesh-eating, cannibal, demon gnolls. But word is that the guard is doing something about them, and in fact might even have attacked the gnolls. That's what I hear.
Well, there you have it. It seems that if there were gnolls running afoot right outside the city, that should absolutely take the precedent of the guard's attention. And it sounds like it paid off well.
Lord Stormfield just harumphs a little bit and moves on to other conversation. So in the main hall, you've got a bunch of little alcoves. You've got some like banquet tables. You can see Calamity's gone over to the banquet tables and is starting to like load down on food. Starting to load down on food. Kit and Saleus, you come in around this time. So you can see this, again, you can see this entryway. Two big stone golems as you come in, right? As you walk into the place, there are servants, there are guards, right? You can see at least 4 guards in the entryway. In that main hall, there's at least another 8 positioned in places, right? Just kind of standing there keeping watch, and then there are folks that seem to rotate around, right? And you did notice some patrols on the outside as well.
Okay, and I assume there's visible helpers as well, servants.
Yes, so there are regular servants and there are the invisible servants. So some things were floating around almost of their own volition, and some are being carried by servants.
Okay.
Are we gonna split up here? Like I'll stay disguised as just like a party goer, and I'm gonna look for Essie.
All right. I'm going to excuse myself and go and use the bathroom.
Wait, before you leave, I'll put my hand on your arm. How will I know it's you? Is there going to be some sort of, feature?
Yes, I'll be the one with the closed eye.
So you're just winking all the time?
I'll wink at you. You'll know.
Oh, okay.
And the goal is to slip away when I'm away from everyone, change my form to look like a servant. And I'm going to look for like an unattained, like a tray or something that the servants are bringing around, something that I could just grab and use as like a prop.
Okay. Give me a sleight of hand to pick one up without being noticed.
Okay. Oh, yeah, baby. Sleight of hand. 23.
23. Okay. So, you're able to easily pick up a tray. You kind of just grab something off one of the unseen servants as you go by, just like, and you've got a tray of drinks, and you're out there serving folks.
I'm gonna, just like go around the corner, come out as like a servant carrying drinks, and go right up to Kit and wink.
I'll just give him a slight nod. I'm looking for Essie.
Yeah, you're able to see Essie and Major Cullen. They've been cornered by a group of merchants, and they're getting chatted up.
Where are the merchants from?
A lot of the merchants, or these merchants, are from here in Icehaven, with one exception, who is someone visiting from the Menagerie Coast.
Oh, I'll probably be talking to the Menagerie Coast person.
Yeah, they're pressing Major Cullen on the port, right? And they want reassurances about it being kept open, actually, right? With the onset of winter, right?
I'm gonna go and offer Zagrin and Essie some drinks.
I'll grab a drink as well, and I'll walk up to Essie, and I'll just say, Lady Elspeth, may I steal you away for just a moment?
I'll look at Cullen. Are you all right if I take a couple minutes?
Oh, of course, please.
All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna actually put my used glass down on Solace's tray, of course, and I'll gracefully start walking away with her. What would you like to talk to me about?
I'll just lower my voice and keep smiling, but say, there's someone here, I think, that might be our assassin. We spotted him. He was following you.
What do you
on a
look
horse.
like?
I didn't get a good look, unfortunately, but this figure might be a man or a woman. It was a person in a hooded cloak, and they were a bit on the smaller side. They were riding a dappled horse, and I spotted the horse outside, so they're here. They were definitely following you.
I'll keep an eye out.
As you both look around, right, in response to this, can one of you give me a perception check with advantage? One of you.
I can do that.
Can
We're
I
gonna
give
count
you
it
the,
as you both looking.
Can I give you an Elspeth Pact guarantee of excellence?
Are you gonna be casting spells? Right, because that has.
I was going to ask, are
Purple
other
bonus.
people, are folks doing magic, or is that frowned upon?
Yeah, you don't see a ton of that actually.
I rolled
right.
a 3 and a natural 20.
So
So
doesn't matter then.
24 for a total of 24.
Okay. So you don't see much. So again, this main ballroom, right? It's really high ceiling, right? You've got those chandelier type things, right? Rotating up above. There's a bunch of little alcoves on the bottom level, and there's a series of balconies up on the second level that overlook it. You look around, you don't think you see anything, and then you catch like a little bit of movement on one of the upper balconies. You can see a little bit of a figure, right, moving behind a curtain up on one of the upper balconies, and you just catch like a flicker of teal, like from some sort of like teal cloak, or potentially, yeah, probably cloak or clothing, as something dips behind one of the curtains.
The evilest color.
Right.
It's the mark of a villain for sure.
By chance, it doesn't look like my cloak that I gave away, right?
It does not. No.
Okay, good. Because if they were wearing my
Great,
cloak,
Brooks shows up.
yeah, literally. You never
Just
know.
to flaunt it.
Can't
Just to
discount
flaunt it.
anyone.
Like it?
I'll
say
just.
that?
I did. I'll go check it out.
All right. Bark if you see anything that you need help with. Or do we want to do a different?
I'm not sure if there's a way to be inconspicuous if we're making a signal.
Well, that's fair. I'll keep an eye on you.
All right, I'll be fine.
Be careful.
I'll go up and try to quickly, but not super obviously, go to where I saw that figure.
Okay, so
Oh.
the path you saw up to the second level. So from here, there was an entrance there was a path up to the second level from the main hall. However, it was one of those like big, kind of like wide opening staircases that turns a little bit as it goes, and it was roped off. Right, so whether you could get up going directly that way is unclear, and there might be some other pathways in. You haven't explored much beyond the main ballroom.
Would I
as you're
know
looking-
from knowing
from the map? Yes.
floor
So
plan?
So from knowing the floor plan, you know the following. From knowing the floor plan, you know the following. There is, through the servants' quarter, there's a pathway up. Behind the main hall, there are a series of offices that have another stairway that go up. There is down through that exhibit area, there are stairs that go both up and down. The
I'd like
exhibit
to go to
area
the
one
exhibit
is
area.
like off, like not obvious, right? So
Yeah, I want to go there anyway, and I want to catch Seleus's eye as I'm leaving. Just make eye contact, and then move toward the exhibit area.
Oh,
I'm
you got
gonna-
drink. I
I'm
go up to
gonna
the
return
Zagran.
to Cullen.
So Seleus, you're going over to Zagran. Essie's returning to Cullen.
I see Kit going, and yeah, I like pass the tray around. Nothing. No. I talk like Seleus, offering drinks to Zagran. Drink. Champagne.
Oh, why, thank you. Of course. Much appreciated. And kind of like give a knowing look to the person serving me.
Yeah, and I go by and then kind of follow my way to Kit with the tray still up.
To the exhibit area. Great. As Kit and Seleus are heading down, there's another announcement that stands out. As you hear the announcement of the High Mage, Lord Antal Dan Betts, and this person comes in. And there's there's a bit of a hush, and people look, and then talk resumes again. You can see the high mage, right? They're kind of an interesting looking character. So they're wearing very, very fine robes, and carrying a staff with, at the top, right, there's this circle, like metal circle at the top of it, and inside is this glowing red and black ball, right, that seems to like shift almost as if something is moving over its surface constantly. They're not tall. They've got close cropped red hair, and they look fairly thin, but they move with a lot of confidence as they go. And there are a couple folks with them, right? Specifically, there's a much smaller dwarven woman with them, dressed in kind of fine but dark, not that noticeable clothes, and carrying a dagger on their belt, like not like out drunk or murder.
Oh, that's the assassin. As I go up to Cullen, I'm just going to do that thing where I like slide my like fingers across like the back of his, like from one shoulder to the next, and I'm just gonna like reach up and indicate like he should bend down, and I'll give him like a kiss on the cheek, and then I'll just say, I think the assassin might be in teal. And then I'll just like rest my hand on his shoulder like that.
He smiles, and he looks over at you, and he whispers. He goes, "I appreciate the vigilance, Elspeth, but I assure you, I am safe here. Enjoy your night, and I'll enjoy mine. And maybe you and your friends tomorrow get to work finding me something that I can use to throw that son of a bitch in prison." And he indicates the mage.
You and me both, hope that.
All
But
right.
Also, Cullen, I'll like give him like that one of that fake smile where I'm like, you better damn well listen to me. I'll say, I think you need to take me seriously.
Roll me a persuasion check. Sorry, I should have done that before.
Persuasion? Oh, I'm not so good at that. Oh, I'm not terrible at that. Okay, that's a 16. Not terrible.
Okay. He looks at you, goes, "Listen, Elspeth, I can tell you're concerned. What do you need me to do?" Assure you, I'm taking this seriously.
Just be wary. All right?
Very
And
well.
also, don't wander away where we can't see you.
Well, let's not wander out of each other's company tonight, then. He pulls you in a little closer.
Deal.
Excellent. Okay. And with that, folks, we're actually going to close out for tonight. So sorry, I couldn't find a good enough cliffhanger. We're going to close out for tonight. So everybody, thanks so much for watching. This has been episode 29 of Heroes Die Show, and join us next Saturday for another episode from 1 to 4 Central Time here. Here, if you're watching later on YouTube, it's kind of on whenever. But yeah, every Saturday from 1 to 4 Central. Yeah, you can join us on Discord. Thank you very much for that. And love to hear from you. If you get a chance, press the little like button, leave some comments, join us in Discord, tell us what you think, or what sort of things you want to see in future episode. And let's find out what happens with this party. Will an assassin strike? Will Kit and Soleus be able to get this Cat's Eye Emerald? And what's Nikolai doing here? Find out next time.
Obviously not concealing his identity. Well, that's like such a rookie mistake, man.
Rookie move.
I 100% thought that was an alias. Not gonna lie. 1000%.
Snitches gonna get stitches. Seriously.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I thought
right,
we told
everybody.
him about it.
All right, everybody. Let's talk all. Let's all talk later. I can speak words in the right order.
Sure you can.
See you, everybody.
Bye.